What's up, every fucking person listening to this right now, you motherfuckers? It's Jason.
Yeah, I'm Bill.
And we got our special guest, Mr. Rudy Schultz, in the building.
Hey, how's it going?
What's up?
Well, not in the building. In a different building.
Show fucking Rudy, man. Here's Dave.
He's ready for the flood.
Come to say hey.
Hey, Dave.
Dave's in his underwear.
Oh, yeah.
Looking good.
It's good. I like it.
Hell yeah,
It's
man.
a rainy day
Don't wanna
out.
get
You
those
need
pants wet.
Yeah, dude. You going for a swim?
You need the underwear today.
It's getting worse, dude. How are you gonna get out of here?
Is it really getting worse outside? Yeah, I'm sure it is.
Coming up to a pass or sidewalk.
Oh,
God,
well.
we are going to be floating down here pretty
Yep.
soon. Dave, we're spending the night.
Yeah. I'm about to get Amazon to drone deliver me a fucking, like, raft.
Inner tube.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll just drag
Like
you along.
the Amazon outside.
Yeah. Great. Love it. Fucking love this shit.
Fucking
now I'm worried about
crazy.
my car sitting there. I'm sure it's
I think
fine.
it's fine over there. It seems
Yeah.
to be
Your
dry.
car's not going to get washed away.
Yeah.
Not that it doesn't happen, but that would be crazy. That would be crazy. That would be like a different... I feel like that doesn't really happen in Illinois too often, right?
I don't think so.
People's cars don't get washed away.
Usually just gets soaked. That happened to Nate, didn't it? Like once, like his car just got, it was like filled with water.
I don't know.
I thought it happened to him once.
I have no idea.
I know it floods pretty bad where he's at.
In Wilmette?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
fucking.
was thinking that Screeching Weasel song when I hear Wilmette. I mean, I also have friends from Wilmette, so I think of them, but I was thinking that they're surfing in Wilmette! They're surfing in Wilmette!
Are they referring to Wilmette, Illinois?
Oh, yeah. It's, I can't, the song's about how, like, annoying they find it that people go to the beach.
In Wilmette? Are they from, is that band from here?
Illinois. Yeah, Screeching Weasel's like Chicago local, I'm pretty darn sure.
Oh, no
If not,
shit.
they're from like a suburb or something, but yeah.
I didn't know that. I knew they're like a big punk band, right? Kind of.
Oh, yeah. Big time. Although I think if you like look them up now, I think they unfortunately like the more like recent media stuff about them has not been so pleasant. I think it involved like their singer assaulting a lady while he was on stage or something. I can't remember.
Oh, great.
Like kicking her or something. I have no idea. But if you type in Screeching Weasel, like most of the stuff you'll find is like Screeching Weasel singer like hits the lady. It's
Yeah, on
like, oh
stage.
fuck. God, just tarnish like the whole, decade of like awesome music,
Right.
or more than a decade of awesome music that they
Put
put out there.
Did you remember when fucking, what was that dude from Queensryche? What's his name? The singer? He like punted Jeff
man.
Tate. He like punted a cell phone out of somebody's fucking hand at one of his shows.
Oh,
Dude from,
that's kind of I like
Every
kind
Time
of
I
like
Die
that.
did that a few
Yeah.
times.
I like that too. Yeah.
There have been definitely some times that you're at least for a singer, especially like because I don't tend to like stay on the stage very often, where like people just have like their cell phone out, and I'm just like I kind of want to toss it. I just want to knock it away so that they have to look, but then it's like that's kind of rude, especially because like I don't know, maybe they're like, these guys rule, like take a look at this, and then I'm just like, stay off your phone, you piece of shit.
Yeah.
What the fuck? I was
Hopefully.
Dude,
enjoying it.
I've definitely taken multiple Thieves videos at your show, so I'm glad you're not kicking my
word.
phone out of my hand. You
Oh
know?
yeah, no. Yeah, I mean, also I don't know. I feel like I've calmed down over the years. I used to be a little more rambunctious about knocking people around and stuff.
Really? What do you think is the most dangerous shit you've ever done on stage?
In like a short, like an immediate consequence kind of way, probably like just taking a running dive off of the stage and like not exactly knowing whether like people were going to catch me or whether I was going to land on someone.
Ooh.
That kind of thing. Especially there was like, we don't usually get setups like this, but there was this skate park, I think CIK skate park in Springfield, Missouri. And they had this huge stage that we were on.
Uh-huh.
And then they had these gigantic fucking speakers that like the PA was, and those speakers were huge and they were about the size of the stage. So it was like these perfect runways to just like jump off of. I want to say I sang like 60-70% of this set right, because I was just like diving off into people. I think they were probably getting tired of it. But I remember at one point I sailed off in such a way that I felt so bad. She was fine, and like I apologized for afterwards. But I landed in such a way that like the force of my head landing like knocked into another girl's like head.
Oh.
And I felt so bad because I felt my head connect to something, and then I see this girl like, ah! And then
oh no!
I saw her afterwards walking around. I was like, I'm so sorry I hit you. She's like, oh, that's fine. Don't worry about it. I was enjoying the show. I was like, okay, good.
Yeah, man, she's down for the cause, dude. I would not be down for that cause.
Oh yeah. Oh no, it was. I felt bad. Also, there were like a lot of like big people in the audience. So like a couple of times I landed on someone and they literally just like picked me up and like deposited me, and I was like, thank you. Just like right back up. It was funny.
That's dope.
Oh, but then I guess there was another time at community center out in Bloomingdale at the Park District, and they had the stage risers set up pretty close to the like the basketball nets.
Yeah,
and they didn't bring them up because they didn't think that anyone was going to be as dumb as this. But I like jumped up in it and then like put my legs through it and then like hung by my knees from the basketball thing.
Whoa.
So both of those probably could have like me like leaping and not looking, and then me like being upside down like that probably could have caused me to like break my neck. But I didn't. I am fine.
Yeah, dude, because you're you're a G, dude. You got that shit fucking figured out, man.
I think I'm just like incredibly lucky. I think that's
that's probably
more
it. Yeah. So have you ever done something that's done like, because you were saying in the short term, what about the long term effects?
So I have a bad tendency when I'm like very upset or just worked up to like punch myself in the head. And then when we started playing in Thieves, I had like a whole stretch of time where I was like in a real bad spot, like mentally and emotionally over some stuff. So I was like smashing my head into everything and then also punching myself in the head a lot. So I feel like probably I'm okay, but it would really suck if I ended up with like, you know, frontotemporal dementia when I'm 80 years old because I knocked myself in the head too much in my 20s or something like that.
Do the concussion
it's
protocol
not like
a
I was a
player.
fucking prize fighter and like sustaining a lot of damage, but it was just like I probably knocked my head into too much stuff.
Well, you know, sometimes you gotta.
It's fine.
You gotta do it a few times to gain something from it. You know.
Yes, right. I used to really like go to town on myself with like the mic, and I've been hit by like a guitar or two. And there was this time we were at the Vaudeville Muse, and I was like throwing my head around, and I caught like the edge of one of the speakers. Ooh. And even though it was like a rounded metal corner, because they like, you know, for safety reasons, the rounded metal corner still took like a chunk out of my head, and I needed it. I like went to a hospital in downtown Des Moines, and these like nurses who thought I was so funny, like they're like, "How did this happen again?" Every time I told them, like they just cracked the fuck up and they stitched me up and shit.
That's bogus, dude. They got because they're fucking uncultured in Des Moines, dude.
They're swine.
Yeah, dude.
No, they were great. They were like, I really liked everyone that I met at that hospital was like very nice, but they thought it was just so funny that I had like accidentally struck my own head in a way that caused me to need stitches. They just thought that was so funny.
Well, you know, sometimes that happens that way, dude.
Oh yeah, for sure. Those drawing blood is like, it like freaked me out in the moment, you know, because you're like gushing blood all over the place.
Yeah.
But there was this like young kid that came up to me after one of our shows, and he was like, I love you guys. Like the last time you guys came through, like it changed my life. I played a band now. It was like crazy. I like started tearing up, but then he was like, I love that shit where you like hit yourself with the mic. Like I do that. I like bleed all over. And I was like, man, maybe I should not do that anymore. And I tried to say to him, I was like, that's probably not a good idea. Like it might not hurt now, but like you could actually like, you know, damage your brain by accident doing that maybe. And he didn't want to hear that. I think I went from like guy he looked up to like, oh, this guy's like a bitch.
Right. Coolest guy ever. And then he's just like, fucking nerd.
Yeah, that's so funny.
100%. I was just like, fuck. But that was the moment where I was like, man, maybe I should really not be doing this. Because like if I got kids like, that's cool. Like I'm going to like, I should abstain. I should
Dude,
not do that.
there was years ago, it was pretty early on when I had first joined Roman Ring. We played a show at Cobra Lounge with this band
I know exactly
called
what you're talking about.
this band called Elbow Deep, and they're like a death metal band. And who else?
Okay.
I think that was with an animated
Elbow Deep?
Assistance. Yeah.
Maybe.
Elbow Deep's got to be like a fisting thing,
Oh, yeah.
right?
I think
I
so,
would assume,
dude.
yeah.
I don't know what the
Yeah.
fuck was up, but their singer was doing like he wasn't smacking it. Well, first he started stapling money to like his head and his body, and then he started like smacking his head with a microphone. And like they were the opening band, dude. And there was like 5 bands
Yeah,
at
like,
Cobra. It's like, come on,
They
man.
came to win.
You know, and
Yep.
we had to go on.
Yeah.
We had to go on right after them, and I fucked up my ankle when we were loading out.
Right.
Do you remember
Paper
that?
ankle knits.
Yeah. And,
Oh, no.
so like this was when Cheyenne, rest in peace. Cheyenne was still.
April.
April,
Cheyenne's
fuck,
very
God
much
damn
alive. April.
Edit that out, but,
unfortunately,
Yeah. Rest in peace, April was working sound that night.
Yeah.
And after they had finished playing, she like made a beachline for the stage and started cursing the fuck out of the singer. She was like,
into him.
"You fucking idiot! You don't ever bleed on
it's
my
funny
stage."
because the guy is like a good foot taller than
Yeah, the
you.
guy's huge. The dude's
Big
his
dude.
name's Jerry or something. He sings in that band Gigan, if you know them from here.
No, but I'll have to look him up.
They're dope. And like he was just like, so essentially like she brought a bucket and a rag and gave it to him. She was like, "You clean
that
this shit
up."
now."
Yeah.
But in the meantime, like Cobra, Cobra Lounge has got a small stage, you know? So it's kind of like
Oh, yeah.
we're all standing
trying
there,
to,
just kind of like,
move gear,
well, yeah,
get
how
out
are we
of the
gonna
way, let this guy clean. It was a fucking
So I got a
clusterfuck.
busted ass ankle. I'm trying to carry my big dumbass rack on stage. And uh-oh. Did we lose you?
Oh, we lost him.
Shit.
Yo,
What up, dude?
are we back?
Yeah, fuck. Oh my god, this is so
Any
much
better?
easier. Yeah.
Oh, good.
Also the quality is much better.
Is it really?
Yeah,
Oh,
look at
cool.
that. The video quality looks way
That's
better.
great. Yeah, I can see you guys now.
Yeah, that's cool. Are we recording
Man,
still?
Skype is a real cocksucker. You hear that,
It's-
Skype?
Yeah,
That's
fuck.
it. We're done with you.
That's crazy.
They
Yeah.
will stick the Facebook Messenger.
Yeah.
Yeah, that worked way better. Fuck Skype. Fuck that goddamn
Well, it's because
thing.
Microsoft bought Skype and Bill Gates is
Bill
pumping
Gates
in
is the
fucking.
new Blofeld,
What is that?
James Bond villain.
Blofeld? That's the James Bond villain?
The famous guy that like Austin Powers parodies.
Goldmember?
Oh, really?
Yeah, well,
Oh,
not
Dr.
Goldman.
Evil?
Dr. Evil is a parody of Blofeld from.
You sure about that?
Which movie's he from?
I don't know. I'm not that familiar with all the Bond,
Bond
movies,
okay.
but it's one of the older ones. He's the famous villain that had the cat that like,
Okay.
and then the scar of the face. bald
Oh,
head.
yeah.
Yeah, and then Christoph Waltz plays him in the new. Spoiler alert! Plays him in the new one.
Is there a new one?
Yeah, because the Daniel Craig ones are prequels to all the current Bond films.
What are the current Bond films?
Oh, no shit.
Well, like Pierce Brosnan and Sean Connery, like so.
What was the
it
one with
takes
Halle
place-
Berry?
That was the last Pierce. No, was that the last Pierce Brosnan one?
I don't
Maybe.
know.
It was either that or the Denise Richards one, which was like regarded as one of the worst Bond films. But yeah, no. So in this latest one, Christoph Waltz is playing a character, and you don't know till the very end that he's Blofeld.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Well, we just ruined it for the world. but-
Whatever.
yeah, I don't know
I
anybody
think you
who's.
said spoiler alert or whatever, so that should be
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
don't know
man.
a lot of James Bond fans. Like,
I don't know either, man. I don't know anybody that's down with Bond lore. You know?
yeah.
Oh, yeah. I like them a lot, but to me, they're just like creative killing movies. I don't know the lore, like this connected storyline or
Yeah,
anything like
neither
that.
do I.
That's cool that that Christoph Waltz's character was the Dr. Evil guy, because in that latest one with Christoph Waltz, like he's pretty terrifying.
Yeah, I would imagine that dude rules. Like,
Yeah, I love him. He's such a fucking good
he's
actor,
great,
dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's awesome. He's great. Him in general, like he's got such good control over his face, and maybe it's just naturally what happens, but he's got that like vein, like right there, like right under his eye, that he can just make pulse at like will, and it just makes him look so much more intense.
Yeah.
And he can do it like, it's crazy because like if he's smiling, but then he makes that vein pop, it's like, oh, he's
Insane.
hiding that he's going to
Right.
kill someone. Yeah, he's
utterly
a
mad.
true
Yeah.
psychopath.
Yeah. Hell
I
yeah.
fucking love it, man. It's great. He's great.
He is pretty great. So, dude, you like RPGs, right?
Oh, I fucking love them. Yeah.
Like legit RPGs, not like the video games, the childish video games I play.
So I could probably get into some of the childish video games maybe now that I'm a little older, but when I was like of an age to be like really playing them, I would get so bored with figuring them out. They would go like, go to the mountain so you can find the shittiest sword in the game just to start with. And I would like not find my way to the mountain. I'd be like talking to a baker halfway across town who's just like a normal NPC, and I'd be like, why doesn't this guy have any mountain dialogue options? Where the fuck is this mountain?
Yeah.
And then like you'd have to like, ask somebody at the time, because they didn't have like walkthroughs and shit like that. But I think I could get into them now.
Yeah.
Yeah, you had to ask someone to like buy like a PC gamer magazine that had the walkthrough and shit, because that's how they got you to buy the magazines. It's like they made the games too hard.
Yeah.
All of that was like absolutely ridiculous. But yeah, like I'm way into D&D. It's almost exactly D&D, but I used to play Pathfinder for a long time, and then we switched over to 5th edition. But I've got like 2nd and 3rd edition books from when I was younger, when I used to play D&D in like high school and shit like that.
That's sick. Dude, the first time I met you, you were wearing a Pathfinder shirt, and I was like, oh, fuck.
Oh, yeah.
This guy knows what's up, dude.
Yeah. That game is like, it's so cool because they put so much shit into it, and they want the players to be able to do like whatever they want. So if you're a player and you're playing Pathfinder, you could be like a fucking merman with gills who's like a like a fire wizard, and and then halfway through being a fire wizard, you can dump that and decide to be like a fucking barbarian, or you can just mix everything together. It's so awesome.
It's the shit.
Yeah, it's great. But then like as the DM, Pathfinder's like, there's so many rules. There's so many rules to keep up with. Like that core rule book is like
holy
380 pages or maybe 560. I forget. I like read it and it was so stupid. It's just so long and the rules get so granular. It's like way too much to keep up with. But yeah, that's why I like 5th edition. It's like a little simpler.
Okay, gotcha. Do you ever play any? Did you ever play any Final Fantasy games? Get into anything like that ever?
We had a PlayStation 2 starting when I was like, I want to say 15 or 16 or something like that.
Okay.
And we would go to like Blockbuster and get movies and shit as a family. And sometimes my dad would just go alone because he just like probably needed a sec to like scream in his car or whatever. Like, he'd be like, I'm going to go get some movies. And he would go and get movies and like bring back like, something quick for dinner or whatever. If we were going to, usually my parents cooked, but every once in a while they're fucking tired as shit.
Okay.
But, like he came home because he would pick up games and stuff too that he thought looked cool. And one time he picked up Final Fantasy, or maybe even I went to the store and picked it up. I can't remember, but we rented Final Fantasy, and it was like it was like 10 or 9 or like 11. It was one of those ones that was like later on, and like I didn't get it at all.
Oh, okay.
It like moved through all these different like dimensions and shit. So I remember I started off and I was just walking through a field and I got to wherever I was supposed to go. And then I was like a soccer player, but it was some kind of weird, like floaty soccer.
Yeah, blitzball, dude. You're talking Final Fantasy 10, dude.
Okay, 10.
Yeah.
But I had no idea what was going on. That was one where I was just like, I don't understand any of this. They're not explaining much. It keeps like zapping me to being different people. I was just like, I don't get it.
Dude, the beginning of that game is really fucking intense and weird.
I don't remember it at all.
It was crazy.
Did you ever play 10? You never played 10? With Titus?
No.
It's awesome. I've never beaten it, but
Just
yeah,
7
it's sick.
and 8 were the ones, and
9?
13? 13? Which one has lightning?
That's 13. The pink-haired
so
lady?
that first one.
Yeah.
Those are the only 3.
I fucking love those games, man. I think those games are so sick. I haven't played 13, but...
Number 7 always looked cool to me. I knew like a kid that was... He had 7 and he like showed me the user manual, and I spent like so much time just like reading all the little character descriptions. That fucking dog seemed really cool.
Red 13.
Like the robot. Yeah.
He's dope.
Yeah, that seemed like the cool character. I was like, it's a like a robot dog companion? That sounds awesome.
He's got like a dark story though, man. He's got a
Yeah.
twisted
really?
and fucked up past. Yeah, dude.
Like experimented on.
The dog
and
has
stuff.
a twisted and fucked up past?
Yeah, man. You find out about it when you
Oh,
play the
man.
game. It's very dark.
Wow.
Yeah.
He's like, I've done some things I'm not proud of.
Yeah, dude.
Cloud. Or is it Sky or Cloud?
Yeah, it's Cloud. You're right. Yeah, Sky.
Yeah, Cloud.
Yeah, man. I used to want to hear some fucking psychopathic when I was a kid.
Yes.
I used to buy strategy guides for games I never had and systems I never had, but just because it
Just
made
so
me
you
feel
can,
closer
like,
to
yeah.
having the game. I used to.
Oh, dude.
used to do that a lot.
That's
Like
fucked up too,
practicing.
because like the strategy guide is like probably what, like a $20 magazine or whatever,
Yeah.
maybe 10, 15, which is only really like a sixth of the price of like most of those games.
I know. Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
You know? Fuck.
I remember when the Super Smash Brothers Melee came out for GameCube, and I didn't have a
Hell
GameCube
yeah.
yet, but I wanted to see what all the secret characters were, so like I begged my mom to buy me a strategy guide. Not like
Okay.
that game even
Nice.
really needs a strategy guide, but they made one. And then I don't have it anymore, but I wish I still did, dude, because I read that thing like a motherfucker. So by
Front
the
to
time
back.
I
Oh,
had
hell
it,
yeah.
by the time I got the game, I was just like, I fucking got it, dude.
I know it all.
I still suck.
Hell yeah.
Though. I still fuck.
There's
I still
something-
suck at that game.
Oh, that game,
One day.
dude, that's
One
like,
day.
people get so crazy about that game in particular. Like, I've got some friends that are just like so into it, but they're so good. Like, watching them play it, if you play any like of it at all, and you watch someone that like really knows what they're doing, you're just like, fuck, it becomes beautiful. Like,
Yeah, dude, it's
the
like
way
pro
that they move.
acrobatics, dude.
Yeah, right.
It's
It's
fucking
like,
insane.
how did you do that? And they
Yeah.
like, so much of it now is like being really good at like being over to the edge and like fighting at the
Yeah.
edge, which is like nuts. Cause for me, I'm like, stay away from the edge.
Yeah.
You're going to die. You're going to slip. You're going to
Yeah.
fuck it up. But they're like, their whole thing is just like clinging. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, it blows my mind.
Yeah, I like going to YouTube and searching like angry Smash Brother like reactions where people
Oh,
like
dude.
get wrecked and then they
Salty,
fucking
like,
scream.
yeah.
That's some of my favorite
Those
shit,
are awesome.
dude.
I haven't watched
yeah.
those in a while, but those are good.
Yeah, they're good. The Smash Brothers ones are good too because people get real fucking mad.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, and
Oh, I bet.
that's such a game that applies to so many age levels because it's like
Yeah, for sure.
kids play it, adults play it, maybe
Yeah,
old
man,
guys
there's guys
play
in
it.
there. Like, if you hop online and you play that game, like, you could be, I could be like a 32-year-old dude just playing someone who's 8 in like Malaysia on
Yeah.
Smash Brothers.
Yeah, dude. And that 8-year-old probably would wreck my ass, dude.
Oh, mine too, 100%. It's
dude.
fucking nuts.
Do you
Yeah, that's
do you play a
No,
lot of
go
video
ahead.
games at all?
there's right now way too many. Well, just 2, but a lot. Like, almost like hours a day. I've got my phone open and I'm playing that Hearthstone game.
Okay,
Okay.
that's a Blizzard game,
It's
right?
like that. Yeah, it's that like Warcraft card game.
Okay.
Yeah.
I play that way too much, and then I've got a group of pals that I play Overwatch with, so we play that a lot.
okay.
And I mean, you want to talk about like people getting mad in a game
Overwatch, yeah.
and yelling at each other? Yeah, it's crazy too, because it's like it's your own team members, but you're like sitting there like, no, you're a bitch. No, you're a bitch. Shut the fuck up. Shut up. It's like you're on the same team. And like you can type little insults to the other people on the other team, but like no one cares. But when you can actually hear the guy who's like, hold your shield up, pussy, you're just like, shut the fuck
yeah,
up.
dude.
Oh my god.
That's funny.
And then
I've
you're
never
just
played Overwatch,
screaming
man.
at each other. It's pretty great.
Yeah.
The one thing that is frustrating is people do get so mad because like out of all the video games I've ever played, teamwork is like super essential on that one. So you have
Yeah.
to like if you aren't like coordinated or at least trying to work as a team, like one person can fuck it up. So if they're not like working with everybody else or they're not playing as well as they should, like it's such a fucking mess because it turns it from like a 6v6 into a 5v6.
Yeah.
Or like if 2 people suck, then it's like a 4v6. It just becomes like so brutal. And yeah, people just start like yelling at each other. I've heard just the maddest interactions of my life on that game between like complete strangers. And it's just like gym class. It's just the general public thrown in with each other. So you got some fucking like asshole, like, oh God, it's like unbelievable the way that people behave on there. It's like every once in a while, like I'll just be sitting there and I'm like, what am I fucking doing with my time that I'm like in an argument with a stranger about like our strategy in this little fucking video game? Or every once in a while someone will like get real mad and like you just have to tell them like, hey man, you're yelling, you're an adult man, you're a fucking adult, you're at least 20, I can hear that you're at least 20 years old and you're spending your time yelling at another adult man about the way that you don't like how he plays the game about space soldiers. Like take a look at your fucking life, you piece of shit.
Yeah, man. Dude,
quit yelling, you fucking weirdo.
Yeah, that's like half the magic of it, though. You know, like
yeah, when people do get like into it and passionate about it, that is kind of when it's fun.
The first time I remember hearing like, you know, voice chat interactions in a video game, I think was Halo 2 for Xbox.
Oh, nice.
Because my friend had Xbox Live. I never had Xbox Live because that was when you had to pay for it monthly and get like a LAN cable or whatever. What was the cable? An Ethernet cable? Because you had to plug it directly into like
Wi-Fi.
Yeah. So
Days.
I remember that, and I remember like getting online and some like 2-year-old or probably not 2, he's probably like 8, but he was calling me like the N-word and shit. Yep. I was like, whoa.
Oh,
yeah, this is very fucking intense. You know,
that shit still happens. Like I just can't. It's so frustrating because like for them, you know, they're 9 or 11 or whatever. They like just learned what that fucking word is, and it's always like some fucking little white kid. They don't have any context for why that's like a fucking awful way to behave. So for them, there's no consequences.
Yeah.
But like, you know, an adult, like hearing that shit, you're just like,
whoa, man. Yeah.
God, like, fuck. And then like, you know, you can report them and they get like kicked off the game for a little bit, but that's not gonna, like, that kid's gonna still grow up and like think that shit's funny.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, when Nintendo finally launched like, you know, like their online system for the Switch, like, they omitted voice chat. I think you could download a Switch app on your phone and do voice chat through that with your friends.
Yeah, it's like a third party.
Yeah, but you can't do it like through the actual console. So I mean, that's kind of cool in a way because it's like I could play Smash and not get verbally assaulted or, you know, whatever it happens to be along those lines.
Yeah,
that's why I just like never play like online ever.
Really?
Yeah, just to avoid all that. And I'm not really good at most so
neither am I, but it's fun to get your ass handed sometimes.
I'm good.
Yeah,
yeah,
I win
kind of
sometimes. Sometimes I can win.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes I play Mario Kart but online, but I always fucking lose every time. Dude, and Crash.
Oh, shit.
They remade the Crash Bandicoot racing game for like all those systems, and that is so fucking hard, dude.
Is it really?
Yeah, it's like incredible. I forgot how fucking difficult that game is, dude. It's just like, yeah, it's way too intense. And I was like, I can't be sweating while I'm playing fucking Crash Team Racing. Dude. Like, no way.
I always get to a point like that where like there's just a moment where I'm like, what am I fucking doing with my time? Like I could be doing I could read a book right now.
Yeah.
I could I could be learning a language.
Oh yeah,
instead
absolutely,
I'm just like,
dude.
Oh fuck.
Yeah, shit.
For the millionth time, I'm just like, God damn it.
Yeah, lost again. Yeah, I feel the same way, dude. That's why like I try not to play video games all the time because I get like I feel so fucking guilty because it's just like, yeah, I could be doing so many other fucking important things. And I'm just sitting here on my ass, like playing. I mean, now it's easy because it's like, you know, we're all not going anywhere or doing many things.
Dude.
So
good Lord.
Yeah.
It's been crazy. Like I've just been watching so many fucking movies. Like that's just how I've been spending a ton of my time. I've been like working on like a new portfolio website and shit because I lost my job because I was, like my main gig, I was working at as a graphic designer at the Steppenwolf Theater out in Lincoln Park.
Oh wow!
So like that shit's like gone. Like,
yeah,
because they just had to shut down. Initially, they were like, "We'll shut down for 7 weeks and see how it is," but it's like that's going to be the last thing that comes back is like live performance and like being next to a fuckload of people in a public space. But like, yeah, so I've been like building a new portfolio website for like graphic design and photography and voiceover. But like in between that, it's just been like video games and movies and like occasionally reading books and like trying not to fucking destroy my apartment and just have it be this like, you know, like laundry and dishes everywhere. It's like, it's so hard, man. It's like, it's crazy. I always like knew that even the loose routine that I had was like very important for like my circadian rhythm and all that. But like, it's insane how quickly I went from like, you know, wake up at 8 or 8:30, go to work, come back at like 6 or 7, and then, you know, like go to sleep around 1 or 2. Now I'm like, go to bed around like 6 in the morning. I'll get up at like 1:30, 2.
Dude,
it's like, it's been fucking crazy. But there's just nothing like, you know, to keep me like on a normal schedule. I think I just have to try and force myself into it because it's getting like aggressive.
Yeah, I'm sure, man. Being up till 6, dude. Our guitar player Nate, he likes to, when the world's not even ending, he likes to stay up till 6 in the morning and get up at fucking 1 of the afternoon. Yeah, it's really awesome.
That's too much.
Now you can just do that.
I love you, Nate. I support your sleep schedule, man. I've definitely done that before. Like when I was in high school.
I did that when I was a kid. Yeah. During the summer.
Yeah, same. Dude, that was so much fun, man. Staying up till like 5 in the morning. Right. Dude, one time I remember I was in high school, I think, and it was over summer break, and I went to bed at like 4 or 5 in the morning, and I woke up at like 6:30 in the morning, and I saw the sun was like, or like 7 and like the sun's coming up, and I thought it was like 7 at night, and I was like, whoa, I slept through the whole day. And like I called my friend and I was like, yo, what are you doing, man? Like, let's hang out. Like, I'm sorry, I slept through the whole day. And he like, cause it was me and my friend at the time, we were playing in we were jamming a lot, and he's like, dude, it's like 7 in the morning right now. Yeah, I did. He was like, yeah, it's like 7 in the morning right now. I was like, oh shit, dude.
Breakfast yet.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, never mind. See you, dude.
Right, go back to sleep.
Yeah, it was very embarrassing, but you know.
That's so funny.
Yeah. Yeah, man. But I still get to work from home. So I've been like, I have some type of schedule at least.
That's good.
Yeah.
I gotta start doing something because it's been crazy.
Yeah.
I've got like, yeah,
man.
I've got some work that I can get to, but it's like, fuck, man. Yeah, it's just been nuts.
Yeah, yeah, man.
It's been so fucking bizarre.
Well, yeah, you've been hit double. Like, obviously, as a musician, we're all shut down, and then as a comedian, that has also been stopped right now. So,
people are starting to people are starting to do like comedy shows on Zoom and shit, but like that's something. I've heard people like say like, oh, it's pretty cool. Like it's not the real thing, but like it's good enough. And I'm just like, I think that would be like a new low for me. Would be to like
doing Zoom comedy.
Right.
Yeah. Like I'm in here and I'm like trying to tell jokes.
Right.
And then like, you would hear a crowd, but it would be a bunch of people like alone in their apartments.
Right. Some of which
I don't think it would be like,
you know.
Yeah, and like,
yeah, get that sweet Zoom delay. Yeah, that sweet
right.
10 seconds of silence and then the laugh comes in.
One of the episodes of Your Mom's House, they were talking about. They didn't mention the name of the guy, but they were like, yeah, some comedian was like posting his set basically like online. They were just like, yeah, that's fucking rough. Like it doesn't work, you know?
Yeah.
It's like I get it. You're trying to do something just to get it out there, but they were like, yeah, that's a little too rough. And
they didn't say who it was.
They would not say who it was.
Really?
But somebody they must know really well. They want to like shit on his day.
Yeah, that's wild. I mean, I see like a lot of podcasts that comedians do. They're still doing them and shit. You know,
the podcast.
Oh yeah, podcast for sure. That was like everyone when all this shit started kicking off. Like all these comedians were like, "Do not start a fucking podcast." Right. Like there are enough of them.
Yeah,
like, I imagine there's probably like an influx of podcasts now.
I've been watching so many now.
But are they new or are they old ones?
No, they're old. They existed pre the quarantine.
Yeah,
like I finally
caved.
Post
quarantine, there's got to be a fuck ton of them.
Yeah, I've been watching a lot of pretty much anything Theo Von does. I'm like, I love it. So.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, and I was watching his. I don't like Brendan Schaub that much, but I like their show together because they just make fun of each other a lot.
I like it when they talk shit about
that's
them.
a lot of fun. But
yeah, that's great.
Yeah, I've been watching that. I've been watching a lot of what's the dude? Old episodes of like Mark Maron's show.
Okay.
Like stuff that I should have listened to.
Yeah.
Listen to plenty of that.
He's got some great ones on there.
Yeah, he does. I listened to the Obama
You get some
one.
really good guests. Yeah, like that's
Yeah, the
insane.
Obama one's crazy.
Yeah.
Where like he's like going down his little neurotic rabbit hole, and then Obama's like, Mark, this is pretty high up there. You're interviewing the president. I think you can calm down. Rest assured that you're doing okay.
Yeah,
he's like, yeah, I guess I am doing okay. Thank you for that. It's like, Jesus Christ, dude.
Yeah.
When like the fucking former president of the US has to be like, or not, he was still the president, but he was like, get in his, the lame duck phase, or right when before he's out of there. Yeah. That was just so funny. He's like, it's the president, Mark. It's gonna be fine.
Yeah, man. It's just the president.
You're doing pretty good. Yeah, chill out.
Yeah, I like his show though. Sometimes he goes on like these weird,
he'll go
neurotic.
off the book
Where it's just like,
pretty
whoa,
fast.
man,
Yeah,
where
yeah.
you going with this? But I think when he talks about like his passion for like guitar and shit. And
Yes.
like he's been posting a lot of guitar videos on Instagram, and I think it's funny because like I'm friends with so many like mega shredders.
Right. And then
And like I was like
trying
watching
to rip some like blues lyrics.
Yeah, you know how like
riffs.
stories will just go automatically sometimes, and it's just like you watch one and then they keep continuing.
after the other, yeah.
Finally, some dude was playing like some kind of shitty licks. I was like, man, who's playing that? And then I kind of like looked at my phone because I walked out of the room and I looked. I was like, oh, I gotcha.
It's very much a hobby for him.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. I mean, he's pretty much the guy in Guitar Center who's trying out the very expensive, like nice looking blues guitar. That's kind of what he's at.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's
But I mean,
warrior. Yeah.
yeah, more power to him, man. And
Yeah,
he's
definitely.
said many times that that's not his end goal there.
It's still
God,
cool
yeah.
though, you know.
Yeah, I saw his album recording at the Vic. That was
cool.
fun.
Oh, that is.
That was
cool.
like it's funny too. Like it's so stupid because it's like it's nothing, but I can't even remember what the name of that one is. But if I look, I can see myself in the crowd as they're like doing the crowd shout out.
Oh hell yeah!
Oh, wow.
At the beginning of it, I was like, oh, I'm right there. That's kind of neat.
That is
Sitting
sick.
right next to my buddy Dave.
Hell
Pretty
yeah.
sweet.
That's awesome, man. Do comedians still do albums?
Oh
Is that
yeah,
still a thing?
absolutely. Yeah, my buddy Blake Burkhart just put one out. A guy I know named Zach Reinert out of Colorado just put one out that was really good.
Oh,
I'm trying to
cool.
think of someone I know. I like should have this off the top of my head, but I don't. Someone I know is my buddy Joe Fernandez. He just he's putting one out called Ugly. Yeah, I mean, I could give you a whole fucking list of people. Kristen Toomey put one out. Motherfucker. These are all just like local Chicago folks who recorded them, and like most of the folks out of Chicago that put out albums, they're real solid because they make sure that they have 45 minutes to an hour of shit, and then they go and do it. Every once in a while you'll get someone who's like a little less polished or they're just a little too prolific with their joke writing and it's not like the best, but it's pretty rare that someone takes all the effort to come out with like an album full of stuff and I pick it up and I'm like, this sucks. Most of the time it's like, it's at least good.
That's cool. Do they still make
pretty cool.
CDs? Are they,
That's way more rare. Now it's
Right.
like most people just try to get their shit on iTunes and like that's about it.
And Spotify and
But-
shit.
Yeah. It's for a second I was thinking about like maybe doing an album, but I could never get enough material that I didn't get sick of and like chuck out.
Uh-huh.
So like in the grand scheme of like, if I've got like this much shit, I've got a window of like, where I don't hate it that just like stays consistent throughout like, all the shit that I've ever written. So I never got there, but I always thought it would be so sick if I like could save up enough money from my day job or whatever to like have like a 7-inch or something where it's like,
Yeah.
like a half hour where it's like 15 minutes on both sides or something like that. That could be cool.
That'd be
That'd be
awesome.
really cool.
That would be sick, but I'd have to get all the material first, and that's kind of the hardest part.
Yeah, I hear you, man. I hear you. That's gotta be fucking wild, man. Now that I think about it, like all the comedians I know are just like, or that I've like specials I've watched, they're all just like big ass people.
Well, yeah.
Oh yeah,
they're all huge ass people.
And even like, you know, you go on Netflix, and there's even like people that I would know that like, you know, are working smaller circuits or would be opening for huge names that come through. But like your average person, like if they turn on Netflix and just go to like stand-up comedy, they're going to see like a bajillion names they don't know and just be like, who are these fucking people? And then someone like me is like, are you kidding? They've been doing it for 15 years. That's the funniest motherfucker I've ever seen in my life. Like, you know, your average person's not going to know him from like a fucking hole in the wall.
Yeah. Yeah.
I still can't believe like someone like Dave Attell or whatever, like some people don't even know who that guy is. It's like, he's the best comedian on the face of the planet.
Yeah. Damn. That is wild, dude. I remember, didn't he do Insomniac? Was that his show? Yeah. I remember.
Yeah. That was what most people know him from, which is why, like, I don't know, a lot of younger people might not necessarily know him because they didn't see that show. But that show was like, that show was great.
Oh, it was awesome.
Yeah. I remember I would watch that. And I think South Park and that we were like back to back for a while on Comedy
Hell
Central.
Yeah.
So I remember watching those.
Yeah, the closest thing to special of his now is that bumping mics that he does with
Jeff Ross.
Jeff Ross, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it's fun. You would probably like it because they just rip into each other the whole time.
It's called Bumping Mics?
Oh, yeah.
Was it like a podcast?
No, it's a Netflix special. And it's like 3 parts and it's 3 different nights.
Oh,
and
cool.
It's good. Then they get other comedians that come in and do a little like couple minutes here and there.
Okay. Yeah, I got to check that out.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, it's really funny.
I keep meaning to check out The Degenerates on Netflix because I know Joey
there's some good
Diaz
stuff on
is
there.
on that.
Yeah.
Christina P's on it. I think Kyle
okay.
Kinane might be in one of the new ones, right?
I don't know.
I can't remember. Or it might be another like Netflix where they have multiple comedians.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was a whole slew of that they did. That was really cool. The Degenerates is pretty darn good. I can't remember. Somebody I know did. Well, there are a few people that I know that like did those little 15-minute ones. But I'm trying to think. Maybe I don't know anybody that did that one in particular because that was a bunch of like
World or something like that. Was it that one?
Yeah, they put out so many of them, man. They just like, that was the other thing too, is like there were so many people that like did those Netflix specials and either just did short ones like 15 minutes or half hour or even did an hour, but like got paid way less than, you know, they used to.
Right.
And there was just so many of them going on. It's cool that they like, you know, got all that exposure and like you could literally probably go to any comedy club in the fucking country because you're like, oh, I was on fucking Netflix, and like, you know, they'd at least give you a weekend or something. But it's just it's gotta suck to, I don't know, be someone that like was striving to like, okay, I will be able to do an hour, it'll be on TV, I'll get paid enough money to like really, you know, be able to stretch it out for a bunch of the year, and then they're like, we'll give you 15 minutes and $7,000, and that's what you get. Like, oh fuck.
Yeah.
It's like turning into like
just must have been so hard.
Business.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah,
I'll
dude.
have you over for this band. We're not gonna pay you. We're not gonna give you beer.
Yeah, no.
You got to open, right?
Yeah,
it's like,
or you could pay to open. You got to sell 15 tickets and then you can open.
Oh my god.
Don't miss that right now.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Fuck.
Dude, I'd heard that.
That's like. Oh no, go ahead.
There's a newer venue that's been well, I mean, they're not doing them now. Nobody's doing them, but there's that new place in West Chicago, the West Chicago Social Club. That I saw Beneath the Massacre there right before everything shut down. But apparently, I think it might be affiliated with Mojo's Chris.
So
like,
pay to play.
Yeah, a lot of that shit is pay to play.
So we will never play there.
I know, fuck no, man. But I'm surprised at some of the shows that were going, like Origin. Why are you guys fucking playing there? And
must have outbid
Misery
somebody.
Signals is supposed to be playing there. They were supposed to,
Really?
it got, they're they're hoping to do the tour in November now, but yeah.
Is that with the original guy?
Yeah, with Jesse, yeah.
Yeah, he's got a real cool voice, man.
He does. Have you heard that new song? They just dropped a new song last week.
No, I don't think I did.
Yeah, it's very sick.
Is it good?
I love that band. They're like,
fuck yeah. They're great.
They're one of my favorites for sure. But yeah, I'm all about that new song. Did you
I
hear
saw
it
them
yet?
for the first time. I want to say like it was at like the Beat Kitchen, and Carl. It was like his first time out with them, and I'd never
Okay.
even heard of Malice and the Magnum Heart. But then like when I checked out Mirrors and I liked it so much, my buddies who were like really into Misery Signals were like, check out that first record, and I did, and I was like, oh,
Yeah.
it's so good. Like,
Hell yeah, man.
Yeah, it would be
Yeah,
so
that is
sick
awesome.
to see them with Jesse, and then like, yeah, I should go look that song up.
Yeah, dude, it's pretty sweet. I like it a lot. It sounds like a mix of the old shit and the new shit.
Cool.
But yeah, like I think I fucking love that band, and I think everything they've done is like insanely sick. So I'm already sold
yeah.
on it. But yeah, and I don't even know, like, are they a hardcore band? Do they count as a hardcore band? Are they a metalcore band? Like,
I don't know.
Yeah,
I think-
I never really knew how to
I
classify
think
them.
I think it was one of the Morgans. Someone like described them as metalcore to him in an interview, and he like didn't like that. He's like, "Don't call us metalcore. We're not metalcore."
Right.
He was like, "That term is stupid" or whatever.
yeah,
And something like that. I remember because I called them metalcore, like melodic metalcore or something like that, to a buddy of mine. And he's like, "Oh, they don't like that." And I was like, "Really?" And then he showed me the thing, and I was like, "Oh, I guess they fucking hate being called that." But yeah, that's like there's some songs off of those later records. Like there was one where Carl was just like, he kind of sounded like he needed to take a dump through the whole album. He was just in the basement, just like just like really, really low. With the
Controller.
the music. Yeah, I think it was Controller.
I love that
it.
album.
Like, dude, the music is like, it sounds like it's out of a fucking movie. It's like cinematic.
Yeah, very.
I love that fucking album.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
then he's just like,
yeah, the whole, yeah, like I just couldn't get the image of him like straining with like lifting a couch or something out of my head. So like you'd hear him saying like very profound things about like, you know, the sky collapsing or whatever.
Yeah.
And it was like, I was just like, man, this guy sounds like he needs a break.
yeah. Well, I mean, I guess he's got it now. But I don't.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But
I'm not trying to like put anybody's business on the streets or anything like that, but wasn't it didn't he like leave because he had a child or something?
no, he kind of got booted out, man, because they basically did that 10-year tour for Malice, and they got Jesse back to do it, and they got their old guitar player Stu back to do it, because I think whatever guitar player that replaced Stu initially had quit already. And that was going to be like their last thing. They were going to do that tour and that was it. And then they were going to be done as a band. And essentially, I guess what happened, there's like a bunch of stories on Lambgoat that go into it. I feel like I should remember it. But yeah, but apparently they did him pretty dirty from what it sounded like. Essentially, like they told him they were going to do that tour, and then they did that tour, and I guess it was so successful, and they called him and they were like, hey, like, we're going to continue the band, but we're doing it with Jesse now. And like, I think he like hit him pretty hard, but then he made this big post about how like, what was the album? Absent Light. That's the one you like. That's the last
I
one.
like the opener.
That's it. You don't like the album?
I don't remember what the rest of the album sounds
Oh, okay.
like.
That's good.
I'll take your word for
Yeah,
it.
fuck. But I remember like he posted this big thing about how he like during that album cycle he was really depressed and not really invested into the band at all.
I think I
And
remember
like
you telling me
he's
about
like,
that.
yeah, he's like, now that I look back on it, like they were in the right for kind of like, you know, getting rid of me there, and he doesn't. They're all like cool with each other now apparently. But yeah,
That's
it was
good.
pretty. It was pretty like at the time I was kind of like, whoa, that's kind of bogus. But I
Right.
mean, they're like not. I mean, they did that Malice tour in 2014, and then they were like kind of hinting at starting to write music, and now it's 2020 and the album's coming out. So it's not like they were touring that whole time. They're all like dads and shit.
Slow, yeah.
Yeah, they're all like, yeah, they're kind of one of those bands that I think is only going to tour maybe once or twice out of the year,
Right.
and then that's it, you know. But
That makes sense.
yeah, I dig them though, and that new shit is fucking killer. And apparently
Hell yeah, man.
Devin Townsend did actually do some of the vocal recording as well.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
did some of the
cool.
vocal
Trying
production.
to redeem himself a little bit for that first one.
Everybody likes that first one, man.
I love it. It's just not well produced.
You don't think so?
Considering that it's Devin Townsend too.
I think it sounds.
Of Malice and the Magnum Heart?
yeah, like it's got a very unique
guess-
sound to it, and it works.
Because
for
Mirrors
it.
is the one that gets shit on for the production.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Even the
I
band,
think it
like,
sounds pretty good.
I was watching. Yeah, I agree too. I don't think any of the records sound that bad, but
No. Yeah.
Devin did Controller too.
Oh, okay.
And that one sounds
That makes a
awesome.
lot of sense.
Yeah, that one
Dude,
sounds
and he's
huge.
like, he's so awesome. Like,
yeah.
God, what a weird fucking guy.
Yeah.
I had like a month or two stretch. It might have even been longer where I just listened to that Kingdom song
Oh,
like
yeah,
every day.
dude.
But it wasn't even like the album version. It was that video where he's playing it for
MGTV?
yeah.
I've watched it a
Yeah.
million times. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's
It's
just something
so
like
good.
because
That is a
he's
good
like
video.
there's a little bit of self-deprecation in there and
Mhm.
like
Yeah, I like that he admits he's like, yeah, this is like the 10th try or something like that.
yeah, right. Well, he's like, this is the first time that I'm doing this.
Right.
It's not the third
Yeah.
because the third would imply that I had messed it up to begin with, which I didn't.
yeah.
So here we go.
And then he even calls out the solo. He's like, yep,
Yeah.
here we go though.
Yeah, well, and the
most
solo is
epic
just like
solo.
a bar chord, just like yeah, he's like, here's the big solo. Yeah. Hi, I'm Debbie.
Yeah, dude, that song.
Just something
is-
about all that falsetto.
Yeah.
Oh hell yeah. Yeah, man. I fucking love that song too, dude. It sounds so big.
Oh yeah,
I don't think I've ever actually heard the album version.
It's pretty close to like.
it's not. It's way close to that video, but
Oh, really?
I don't think it's as cool. It doesn't
Right.
sound as good somehow. Yeah, it's fucked up to say that, but like I don't know.
The first time I saw him before, because that's an old song.
Mm.
He did it on like his
Yeah.
second record, and then he re-recorded it for a newer record. But before he re-recorded it, he was doing it live, and it sounded so big. And I remember I saw him with Between the Buried and Me and Cynic, and I was like still in high school. And I remember being
Oh,
like,
hell
what
yeah.
fucking song is this? This is fucking sick. And then I looked up
Yeah,
the
it's
song,
cool.
and I was
And
like,
you're
oh,
like,
it's called
oh, it
Kingdom,
just-
right?
it just
And I-
sounds bigger,
I
I
listened to
guess,
the
than that.
old one, and I was like, oh, this sounds bad.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's on his record. I think it's called, his second album's called Physicist, I think. It's on that record. It's either his second or third record. It's an old record, so yeah. But I remember thinking like,
That's
wow,
funny.
this doesn't sound like it did live at all. Like completely different. And then I saw when the record that it's on, it's called Epic Loud. And I remember seeing the track listing and I was like, oh fuck, that song is on there. Like
Hopefully it's better.
yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's a fucking, and it's so cool that he did like production for a band like Misery Signals. I don't know. I think it's really cool because they are like, I mean, maybe they're not as different as I picture them in my head, but I feel like they're pretty different, you know?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
they never. Maybe that's probably also why. Whichever Morgan said that he didn't like that term metalcore, like why he took offense, because like they've never really been very cookie cutter.
Yeah,
Like the stuff that they've been doing was always kind of pushing the envelope in really cool directions.
definitely. Well, yeah, I mean, it was like, and then they're one of those bands that just spawned a wave of everybody ripping off them,
Oh,
you know?
absolutely.
Oh my god, yeah. Yeah, which is like so hard to do. Like,
Yeah.
because some of the stuff that they did like really took some musical chops. It's like
Oh, yeah.
that's like what always bummed me out about all the like gent or whatever you want to call it, is like a lot of those
Oh.
bands like had so much like skill, or still do, like that people still definitely play that type of music, but it like it never seemed as like insanely weirdly experimental as like Meshuggah, who they were like all obviously copying.
Yeah,
Mhm.
clearly.
Like-
yeah.
That's also so nuts to have someone like Meshuggah just like kind of start off as like a Metallica clone almost.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And then just get so fucking bored with playing the same type of stuff and just being like, what if we just did a lot of, I hear weird sounds when I'm on drugs and I'm playing music. Why don't we like try and make it sound like that? It's just like the sound that they made that people kind of tried to make into their own was like, it's nuts. Like nothing sounds like that. it totally makes sense that they spawned like a whole genre of music just based off of like a few albums.
Right. Yeah, man, it's
crazy.
Definitely wild shit. It's crazy because there really hasn't been anything like that. I mean, that impactful, I think, since at least a trend like that.
I'm sure
obvious.
it's around the corner.
Yeah, give it another 5 years, and we'll see something. Somebody getting ripped off again. What have you been finding yourself listening to recently?
Oh man, I've been like watching so many movies that like I haven't been like listening to music that much, honestly. If I have tossed music on, it's usually like I guess like kind of the same old stuff that I typically would, like if I'm like cleaning, I'll throw on some like mambo or like
okay.
I like the Gypsy Kings a lot, like I'll throw that on if I'm like vacuuming or there's something about that like the texture of like the 18 guitars that they have on stage with them. It's just that like where I'm just like, yeah, all right. Like, just like cleaning. Like I don't like, I guess like smoking weed and like cleaning is like a real fun thing to do, but like I don't smoke weed, so I just like throw samba on and I'm like, all right, ready to go. But like, yeah, it's mostly been like I'll like throw. It's like if I'm reading a book that's like fantasy or whatever, I'll throw on some like fantasy ass music while I'm like reading it,
dude. Hell
like very low in the background.
Are you a fan of Blind Guardian, dude?
Oh, dude, that's like I knew a guy in high school that wore a Blind Guardian t-shirt like every day of the week, and he had like 7 different Blind Guardian t-shirts.
Dude, was he like the sickest guy in the world? He sounds awesome.
Oh yeah,
he sounds like an awesome dude.
Yeah, he smelled terrible. He was
fuck yeah.
he was a sick dude. He was a really nice guy. We didn't have like a lot of metalheads or whatever at Palatine High School where I grew up. We had a lot of kids who were into metal and like had long hair, but like he was one of a few where you're like, that's a metal guy, because he just like give him a guitar and like he could play in any fucking metal band. That's like who this dude was.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, he was a nice guy. It was interesting because like I played D&D with a group of people that he was friends with, but he would like make fun of us and call us nerds and shit. But then I'd be like, isn't that Blind Guardian? Don't they like write about like Lord of the Rings? And he'd be like, yeah, it's awesome. I'm like, so what are you?
Right. What are you trying to say,
making
man?
fun of me for? He's like, well, I don't like pretend. Like, so, but you just listen to the music that's people pretending. Like, what is it?
That is a really weird angle to take.
Right.
Like that's a real hard argument to win.
I guess.
Yeah.
Oh, totally.
I do love Blind Guardian for the record, and I do smell good as fuck for the record.
Oh yeah. I mean, he was just a high schooler. A lot of people smell bad in high school. Regardless
I probably did some days.
Yeah.
Get a little bit of that stank, that high school sweat, baby.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
The other one that reminds me of Blind Guardian is Iced Earth.
Oh yeah, motherfucking John Schaefer on guitar, who's been on InfoWars, I think more than once.
Really?
Yeah, dude.
Oh,
He is a dude. Talk about
awesome.
rednecks, man. This guy, dude, fucking John Schaefer. Oh my god, we could literally sit here. I could talk to you for like 2 hours about this band, man. The history of that band. It's just like I don't even know where to begin because I don't know enough. Like that, but Max and Alex like used to be big Iced Earth fans when they were in high school, and
dude, yep.
Like they'll still throw them onto the van when we're on tour, but all we do, everybody just rips it apart. Yeah, but like they're a very like conservative-esque band, especially like in their later years, and like. Yeah, John Schaefer used to own an antique store in like Connorsville, Indiana or something. And it was all like Civil War memorabilia.
Fuck yeah.
And they
because they wrote concept albums about the fucking Civil War.
Dude, motherfucking The Glorious Burden, dude.
Yes.
There was there's a DVD because they have the album's called The Glorious Burden. They have there's a 3-part song on it. I forget what it's called. It's called like Oh man, I'm fucking kicking myself in the ass. But anyway,
Max and Alex are yelling at you.
oh,
right
they
now.
are, because Max has this DVD that's got. Oh man, I'm gonna look it up because I'm gonna be so fucking mad if I can't remember it, dude. Okay, Iced Earth, Glorious. Oh, the song, The Glorious Burden might be the name of the song, but it's like a three-part suite. And
oh yeah, they're definitely one of those bands that writes suites and
yeah,
or
they're
like
cool as fuck.
writes songs in cantos or cantos. Yeah.
Okay, so disc 2, Gettysburg.
Yeah.
1863. So there's 3 parts. It's The Devil to Pay, Hold at All Costs, and High Watermark. So I remember they did a Gettysburg DVD. So it's like a music video of the songs, and then it's like the special features are John Schaefer giving you a tour of the battles, like on the battlegrounds of Gettysburg and shit. And it's just like, why?
That's pretty sick.
It is sick, but at the same time, you kind of take yourself out of it, and like you're just like, what is going on with life right now, man? Like,
oh yeah, right.
Yeah.
You're like,
but they do.
Why is this? Who's telling me about this?
Yeah, he's like walking around with a historian, and I'm like, man, why did they make a DVD about this? Like, but it's kind of cool, but at the same time,
imagine being in that band. He's like, hey guys, I'm gonna do this for the DVD, and it's like,
it's his show though, so he could do whatever. Yeah, like that's like his band at this point.
Like,
but
it would be so funny if you were like in the band and you knew that, and there's nothing you could say, but like you knew that it was gonna be not what the band should be doing.
Dude. Man, I'd be in that fucking video, dude. If I was there, I'd be in that. I'd be touring it with them. Be like, John, what's this shit, dude?
Oh yeah,
that'd
be great.
Yeah, but you know,
as long as the check clears, he can do whatever he wants.
They're still kicking, man. They still put out shit. Yeah, Iced Earth still does shit.
Okay, but they're like kind of a conservative group of fellas.
Big time, yeah. He did a project called Sons of Liberty, and
oh boy, that's not.
Yeah, so you know where the you know where the direction's going. And Alex Jones had him on his show.
Holy shit!
And it's on YouTube. It's pretty funny to watch both of them talk to each other, and like Alex Jones, like you could tell he doesn't know shit about Iced Earth or anything, or even about Sons of Liberty. So tell me about the project Sons of Liberty. You know, some shit like that.
I like the sound of that.
Yeah, and like they're getting down on their shit, and it's pretty weird to watch. But it's also kind of like
so you guys consider yourselves to be a metal band?
Yeah, pretty much, man. He's like, that's so awesome. Somebody in the metal world, like, it's just like, all right, man, chill out, dude.
Running the truth through your music. Yeah, he's fucking absolutely. Someone put like some monologues of his over like dramatic like movie music, or maybe it was like metal or something. But I was listening to it. I was like, this is actually kind of sick. Like if he wasn't such an absolute nutbag, who like will just say anything so that people will listen to him.
You. Like that. I love that, dude. And I'm coming for you. It's so sick, dude.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you think that I don't have the strength?
Yeah. I love that, man. When he gets so visceral with it.
Oh yeah, and like he just goes off the absolute deep end. It's like if he just kept it to like wackadoo, like pseudo political bullshit, that would be awesome. But then like, him like claiming that fucking like Sandy Hook was like a hoax. That's that's where it's such a bummer. But if he just was like, take colloidal silver because they're putting iodine in the water to lower the testosterone level of the average American male. I'm like that's where he's in his sweet spot. Like,
oh yeah, definitely.
Tell me the fucking gray aliens have landed and they're trying to make us all gay. Like that's the kind of shit
that shit's awesome, dude. Yeah, the frogs are turning gay. Yeah. That one's good.
Yeah.
I like the psychedelic vampire talks that he does.
What's the pickle jar?
Oh yeah.
It's
the
like
vampires.
Yeah, the psychedelic vampires in Pizzagate.
Pizzagate,
the pickle jar was the thing with Hillary Clinton, right?
She can't open up
the pickle jar. Yeah, some shit like that. It's like, dude, what are we talking about, man?
Like, you see her drink water.
Talking about
You see her drink water out of a water bottle.
Yeah, it's like, what, dude? What are
That
we
is
talking
not
about?
how a human being drinks water out of a water bottle.
That's good, dude.
We actually were talking about Pizzagate not too long ago at something is waiting.
Dude, I was just talking about Pizzagate with somebody
didn't even know
recently.
about it.
You didn't know about Pizzagate?
He didn't know about
That
it.
uncultured
I was like,
motherfucker.
you need to go down that
Oh
rabbit hole.
man,
It's amazing.
I feel like that's something I would think that Goba would for sure know about.
Yeah, I was like surprised that it didn't get under his radar apparently.
That's why.
Because it's very funny.
It's
that's
hysterical. Like it's so
that's
crazy.
the funniest conspiracy theory. I love that. Like the guy actually had to deal with. Well, it's kind of sad because he was like a business owner, but like people would show up like screaming with like guns in his store, and they'd be like, "Take me to the basement."
Right.
He'd be like, "We don't have
Like-
a basement.
yeah.
There's nothing. Come to the back, I guess." With your gun, there's nothing here.
Yeah.
We
don't have a psycho.
pizza place. Like,
Dude, it's
Jesus.
very similar
So
to like
funny.
the plot in Pee Wee Herman's Big Adventure where he goes to try to
Verbatim.
find his bike in the basement.
Yeah,
of
the
the
basement
Alamo.
of the Alamo.
Yeah, dude, it's almost like the same thing, you know?
What do you remember?
It is almost exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
It foretold the future, man.
Yeah.
We got to get Alex Jones to start paying attention to Pee Wee's Great Adventure and see if it ties into the globalist
Agenda?
conspiracy to overthrow. Yeah,
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
have us all in cages or whatever he thinks they're trying to do.
Yeah. Turn us gay.
You can
Put
never
some
like
chips.
pick a lane either. Yeah, it's like they're gonna turn us gay so that we'll be weak, so they can throw us in cages, but also like get our money. It's like, what are they gonna make us
Right.
pig slaves, or are they gonna kill us all, or what are they gonna do here? He's like, all of it. It's all of it.
It's
at
all
the same
going to
time.
happen at the same time.
Yeah.
Dude, man, the way the
It's
world's
so
going, fucking.
Well, the conspiracies are going through the roof now with all this. And
Oh yeah.
it's been interesting because like there was a couple people on my Facebook where I'm like, yeah, that makes sense that you go that route. And then there's like a bunch
Oh,
where
yeah.
I was like, wow, did not think
You were a psychopath.
you were gonna think
Yeah.
that. Like that's crazy. And then I get extra worried because some of them have like kids, and I'm just like,
Ooh,
That's
don't tell your
fucked,
kids this
you
shit.
know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the
dude.
weirdest part.
yeah,
That's the weirdest part, where someone's like, "Oh, they're inflating the death count," and you're like, "Well, actually, it seems like most experts say that it's actually more than they
right.
think
That
it
it's
is."
inaccurate
Yeah,
and it's
yeah, yeah.
lower.
Yeah, that it's inaccurate, that it's actually way more, and then they're like, "No," and they like show you some obscure like YouTube video that's probably like got like a fake voiceover on it or something, and it's like, "This is about to be deleted." It's like, Jesus Christ. And then like,
oh man, that whole thing cracked
then
me
they're-
up, man. Because like I'm like, dude, if these people are really cracking it, you know, and they're like, yeah, we're putting it on YouTube and it keeps getting taken down because they don't want you to know. It's like, well, open up a fucking website and put your stupid fucking video on it.
Yeah,
Where
right.
nobody will tell you to
Anywhere
take it down, you know?
Yeah.
yeah.
Like
And
they
then,
have
like-
yet to do that.
Yeah, and like it does get weird when you're like, "Oh, that guy's got 3 kids or whatever." It's like, just you know, I hope that your family stays safe. They're probably going to be
Right.
fine, but oh god, fuck. Yeah,
But I
it's
do-
idiocracy, man.
Oh, it really is.
all the really smart people that I know are not having kids. Well, some of them are actually. So
right.
Yeah.
so many dumb people I know are having kids. It's
Dude,
crazy.
Elon Musk had a baby, and Grimes, they had their kid.
A-
That rocket
And he's
ship
dumb
named
as
kid.
hell.
Yeah.
That's someone like sent me the fucking just the headline of like Elon Musk and Grimes named their baby like
XA12 or
crazy.
whatever.
yeah, whatever the fuck it is, and then and they're like, yeah, see proof that Elon Musk is rich, not smart. And I was
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
you can't be wrong.
Dude, the day after that child was born, Grimes on her Twitter posted like the meaning and the breakdown of the name.
I saw that too.
Dude.
Like, isn't it basically like Kyle, right? And that was or
It's like Asher. I don't know. Dude, I don't
No,
know.
I thought it was like
It'd
a
be
pretty
really
normal
funny if it
name.
was Kyle. If it was fucking Kyle.
I thought it was like something
That would
like
be
that.
really
It's like
funny.
all the letters put together.
it's Ash Archangel something. Yeah.
Ugh.
And then like the last part is named after like their favorite aircraft vehicle. You know what, dude? I think it's so fucking kind of like pseudo, like it's so funny that I almost think it's cool. and it's
kind of great.
Yeah, it's kind of the shit, and like all the memes that have come from it. Like I hate memes, but this is like my favorite shit in the world. Like seeing being like, you know, like here's Elon Musk's kid 2 years from now, and it's like a robot that like chilling with other humans. It's so sick, dude.
I mean, it's the kind of thing where like you see that his little Twitter image or whatever has been like Deus Ex for like a year or whatever, and you're like, okay, if this dude that like owns all these companies and wastes all of his money in all these weird ways thinks Deus Ex is that fucking cool, then of course he's gonna name his kid a bunch of fucking numbers. I'm surprised there wasn't a hashtag in there, honestly.
Yeah, me too, man.
Next one.
Yeah,
the next kid, just a bunch of symbols. Yeah, oh my god, I just can't imagine. Like the conversation where they decided that must have just been so like cringy.
Oh,
yeah,
because I'm sure they were just like all about it.
It's just like it's so funny to me because
nobody's gonna tell those people no
before they even.
Oh yeah, I mean,
everybody's gonna be like, oh, it's a great idea, great name, and as soon as they're gone, they're like, what the fuck is wrong with that? Like, Jesus.
I would have probably gassed them up and been like, yeah, guys, definitely do that.
Dude, add more letters. Add more letters. Come on.
Yeah, make it fucking weirder.
Get crazier with it.
Have you ever listened to Grimes music? Either of you guys?
Mm-mm.
Have you ever checked out
her
shit?
I've at least probably heard a song. I can't. They play her in like bars and stuff a lot, right?
Kind of. Yeah, I've heard her in some bars, but in some like
what kind of music is it?
It's like Bjork mixed with like
Bjork
pop type shit. Bjork mixed with like
yeah, Bjork.
But I think her music is actually sick.
I like
but
Bjork.
Bjork is creepy, man. She
is me out. Shit. But I like Grimes' music a lot, and I like the like.
Maybe I'll have to check
before they start. I think you would probably hate it, but yeah. But I remember thinking like I remember when they first started dating, I was like, oh, I guess this kind of makes sense because she writes this super futuristic music and writes songs that aren't in a real language. Mm-hmm. Like she does like that type of shit.
Oh, yeah, okay, and
then, and I see like Elon Musk and Grimes are dating, and I'm like, oh, I was like, how does this fucking? But it's just kind of like at the end of the day, you're like, you know what? I don't know, and I don't need to know. I don't need to know why this power technical couple is fucking like, you know, existing, and then they named their kid a fucking model number instead of an actual, you know, name. But you know, sometimes like at the end of the day, you think about it and you're like, you know what? At least I'm not that. You know?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'd be fine naming my kid something pretty standard.
Yeah, John.
Yeah,
Charlie.
Yeah, or maybe something with a little bit of flair. Like my parents settled on Rudolph, and I thought that was, you know, it's there's not a million of me out there, so that is
cool.
Nice.
Yeah,
but
dude,
I mean something
Rudy's or Rudolph's.
Franco, guy friend.
I feel like I know a few.
Oh yeah, Franco's friend Rudy. Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's it.
Yeah, there's not everyone knows like 2 or 3. There's not like that many. I guess maybe Italians probably know more. There's probably more of me in Italy, but yeah. I mean, but like, you know, that's cool. I'd rather be Rudy than Kyle or whatever.
Oh hell yeah.
Yeah, you know, naming your kid something with a little stank, but just not like
stank. Yeah, dude, put that stank on that name, boy.
Yeah, I'm just like I'm so bummed out that like that Game of Thrones series was as popular as it was, and that a bunch of people named their fucking kid like
Daenerys and shit.
Yeah, Daenerys. Well, and the weirdest part was that like there were a lot more kids, I guess, on the like registered list of names that were related to Game of Thrones. There were a lot more kids named Khaleesi than there were like Daenerys or Dany, which is super weird because Khaleesi's like the title, right? It's like not a. It's not a name. Right. It's just like makes it just super awkward. It's like, oh god,
that is fucking.
I can't imagine like, hello, I am Khaleesi Sanders.
Dude, I can't imagine like having a kid, period, and then having a kid and naming it Khaleesi, and then I have to be like, dude, this is my life now. My life is my child named Khaleesi. Like
legally,
what the fuck, dude?
It is there. Like,
yeah. Thank God you could legally change your name after a certain age, right? On your own.
Oh my God!
I mean, your parents can do it too.
Yeah, really?
Yeah.
Imagine if you make a big stink about it. Be like, come on,
dude, we should change our names, man. We should switch. How fucking weird would that be if we did that and like everybody asked why and we were just like, I don't know, dude.
Fuck it.
Yeah, like I was Bill.
Or if you had some really weird reason that you didn't get into, like they're like, why did you guys do that? And you're like, oh, taxes.
yeah.
What do you mean? Like you got like a tax break? No, just it's better for taxes if I'm Bill
and he's Jason. Yeah,
all a numbers game. You know,
like, how? I'd have to ask my accountant about it. It's this whole thing.
Yeah.
Like, you just don't get into it. They're like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah. Taxes.
Be like, it's okay. My name's Bill now. Relax, everybody.
Don't worry about the finer details.
Yeah.
Man. You don't need to know about that.
Shit. Damn. Well, that's cool. So you've been listening. You said you were listening to a lot of what kind of like mambo music? Is that what you said?
I haven't even been listening to that much of it, but yeah, I love mambo. Like Perez Prado is really fun, or Benny Morey is really great because he Perez Prado would occasionally work with vocalists, but his is more just like the whole band, which a lot of the time I just like more of like an instrumental because some of the vocals with that stuff can be like a little corny, but Benny Morey is like super fun. And then there's this guy, Chico O'Farrell, who does like, it's got a lot of crossover with jazz. Like sometimes they'll just play an old jazz standard and there might be like one bongo guy in the background, but like it's still considered mambo, I guess. But then they'll do some like mambo standards and stuff. There's this one song that I've got from these, it's like, well, it must be from these four ladies called like Quarteto Daida or something like that. And it's this beautiful song, and these ladies like mix their voices together in these like amazing intervals. It just sounds gorgeous. It's over this like really snappy tune. But then like I looked and I couldn't find any of the rest of their music anywhere. I found like a Wikipedia page on them, but I couldn't find any of their music. They must just be like old enough that it's not out there. But yeah, I don't know why I got on a real mambo kick a long time ago. Like mambo, samba. Yeah, it's weird. Like I'll get like heavy songs like stuck in my head, or like I'll remember a band and I'll be like, fuck, like I have to listen to that record today. Like after talking about that Devin Townsend song, like I'm definitely after this is done gonna go and listen to that song like 3 or 4 times.
Hell yeah.
Or like if I'm working out, I like to listen to like some real heavy stuff. Or like if I used to run and listen to a lot of like Carry On and like stuff that's like faster. But I play in Thieves, but Thieves a lot of the time, like depending on my mood, will be like my only heavy music that I listen to for a while. I just like, I have to kind of force myself to listen to stuff sometimes, because I can even just go long periods of time without listening to music, which is so weird. Because I used to, as a kid, like I couldn't get enough of it. I'd just be like, give me everything, and I'd look up like every band that sounds like everything. Like I'd see T-shirts and like write shit down and like go and look it up. But like now, I just like, I don't know. It's weird. I kind of only listen to stuff when the mood strikes me or when stuff comes my way.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I think that's an age thing, man.
I'll be right back.
You got to pee?
Yeah.
All right, Bill's gonna pee.
Hell yeah, dude.
This is my show now. But
drain that lizard, boy.
Do you ever listen to any like hip hop or anything like that?
I used to listen to a lot of Mike Jones and NWA.
Okay.
Because I heard Mike Jones and like he cracked me up, and I just thought he was so funny. Because he's such a character, you know.
Yeah.
And so I liked him a lot. And then I was like, well, if I'm gonna listen to like rap and hip hop, like I should check out like some of the older stuff. So I checked it out, but it's like so much of it is like they're not trying to be like horribly misogynistic or whatever, but some of those songs I was listening to very
yeah, they say mean things about women, dude.
Yeah, they say real mean stuff about ladies. Yeah. And like I would just be like, holy fuck, like yikes. And I remember like there's a period in time where like a few years ago where like someone mentioned like Onyx online, and I like looked them up and I was like, holy fuck, like this is sick.
Yeah.
Because those dudes are just like, they're so aggressive and they were screaming, but then I looked up their like some of their music videos and it was all just them with like AKs like shooting white people, and I was like, oh, okay. I get it. Like,
Yeah.
you know, but it's also, I don't know. When I listen to a lot of hip hop, sometimes it made me feel weird because it was just very much like, you know, I'm this little white guy, and not that white people can't listen to rap, because obviously, like, that's not what it's about. But sometimes I would feel weird, like I was like, I don't know, taking ownership of something that wasn't for me, you know, or something like that. But, and that's silly to even think that way, but sometimes I would get a little bit like that. But
no, I would feel the same way, man. Every time when I would used to approach it when I was younger, I would feel the same way. Like, this is not music that was made for me, you know?
Oh yeah. Cause like, I mean, so much of it was about like, you know, being like hassled by the fucking cops, and I would listen to that and just be like, God damn, do I have it like real lucky. Like,
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I feel like, yeah. And also some of the stuff gets exaggerated, but a lot of the stuff about just like growing up, like around, like, you know, just growing up real hard is just like, fuck, you know, this is so not my fucking life. So it's easier for me to listen to stuff where it was like, you know, people that were closer to my, you know, demographic or whatever.
Of course, yeah.
It all boiled down to like, I'm mad, and like,
yeah, I'm pissed, and
I was like, I'm mad too. Like,
yeah,
you know, it would be like, they would be like, you know, fuck you, slut, and I'm like, well, that's not my flavor of mad that I like. And then occasionally they'd be like, the government is not taking care of people the right way, and I'd be like, that's what I want to be angry about. Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's just, it was always very hard because I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what it is about all that testosterone as like a young man, but it's just like fucking furious for no reason all the time. Just
yeah, man.
It's so mad, so angry.
Yeah, there was a lot of. I feel like there's a big wave of like deathcore and misogyny that was very like commingled.
Oh, dude. I remember looking up some of the fucking lyrics for the Acacia Strain or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god,
their old shit was real, definitely intense.
It's just like, and then if you ask him about it, like, hey, so what happened here? He'd be like, my girlfriend cheated on me. Like.
Yeah, that's how mad
so
you
are
about it, man.
Murder, raped, or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, Jesus, dude.
Oh,
yeah, it was always just like, cut your head off and put it in my car, and that's like,
yeah,
you know, you ask him about like what happened. A girl I like didn't like me back.
Yeah, whoa, dude,
all right, man.
Yeah,
like,
take it easy,
Jesus. Yeah.
Fortunately, that band is long strayed from that path.
Move past that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. That I remember they had a version of Black Hole Sun that they did that was like fucking awesome.
Yeah.
I was in I want to say Adam or Vince's truck driving with them like to a practice or something like that, and that came on, and I was like, this sounds like the Acacia Strain, and then they started singing it, and I was like, the Acacia Strain, like Adam or Vince or whoever was like, yes, and then like just sat and listened to it, and I was like, this is fucking amazing. Like those verses, especially when he hits those like, no one knows.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Like, fuck. Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
And then I got into a habit of like listening to that every day a million times. And then I got real sad. It's like, oh, fuck. This song's about killing himself. And then that guy killed himself. I mean, not, you know, Vincent, but fucking
Chris Cornell.
Chris. Yeah. I was just like, oh my God. Ugh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
in a lot of ways, dude, along with all the fucking COVID shit, we've just been, I mean, a lot, you know, celebrities kicking the bucket everywhere.
Oh yeah.
Fred Willard and fucking Jerry Stiller and Kobe and like all this shit.
Yeah.
It's so weird, man.
It is weird. And now I feel like every time I see a celebrity death, my child brain immediately goes, was it from COVID-19? Like, I wonder what it's for,
100%.
you know?
They usually say right
100%.
away.
Yeah.
You know, that.
And most, I know
there
Jerry
isn't.
Stiller, that came out that it was not that. It was just like he was an old guy. Like he was old when he was on.
86 is a time ago.
He was 86?
Yeah.
Damn.
Or wait, maybe that was Fred Willard.
Fred
Maybe
Willard was
Willard
86.
I think
Jerry Stiller was maybe 93?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
He was up because he was an older guy when he was on Seinfeld. Like,
yeah, and I thought he was like old back then.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh yeah. God, dude, that that guy, like, I mean, he kind of holds a special place in my heart because, like, the way that I've always been able to like make people laugh, especially doing stand up, is like screaming at them, and
Hell
like
yeah.
100%, that was his whole thing, was just like screaming at people. Like, God damn it, he was so awesome. He was so fucking funny. That one, I don't know if you guys ever saw those like those outtakes when him and Elaine are about to fist
Oh
fight.
yeah.
And they like, if you watch the episode, like they couldn't even cut it in time. Like she's laughing on the way in to hit him.
Yeah.
And like they just couldn't.
Yeah.
Like, you want a piece of me?
Yeah. You got it. Yeah, dude.
Just like,
Yeah.
that's some of the funniest shit I've ever. Yeah. The world lost a fucking gem with that guy, man.
Yeah. Yeah. He was great.
Yeah.
Oh, that line is so fucking funny still. Like,
Oh, amazing. You saying you want a piece of me?
yeah.
And the way that he had about, oh God.
Yeah.
My dad always talks about the stuff that he used to do with his wife, Stiller and Mira or whatever.
Uh-huh.
They had like an old vaudeville act, I want to say, something like that. I keep forgetting to look it up, but I should look it up. Yeah, it's fucking weird, man. It's crazy.
It is.
I mean, I guess
definitely
it's not
crazy.
that crazy. There's a lot of famous people, and a lot of them are gonna die. But
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. I mean, that's the other thing too. It's just like, you got to remember that.
Gonna happen.
Yeah.
Mm.
Everybody's going to fucking kick that big old bucket in the sky.
It's the ones that
You
go
know?
young
For
that
sure.
like throw you off. Like,
Yeah.
you know,
oh yeah. Like, I was thinking about it the other day. Someone brought up, I am almost having trouble remembering. It was something on fucking Facebook, but it was about like bands sounding the same, or like what's a band that's like ripped themselves off a million times. And immediately I just thought of like that supercut of Linkin Park songs where like the intro is the exact same amount of time, the fucking verse is the same amount of time, the pre-chorus is the same amount of time, chorus is the same amount of time. They like line up all their hits and they were identical, and it was so funny. But then I was like, oh fuck, like Chester like died.
Yeah.
mm,
Like that guy is dead.
Mhm.
And I just like, I had completely forgotten that. And I was just like, God damn it. Because I was thinking like, oh, I wonder what they're up to. Like, oh, duh.
Yeah. He's dead.
Like,
Are they
fuck.
not? They're not a
Fuck.
band anymore, are they?
no, I think they weren't a band even right when.
No,
he
they were a
passed,
band.
they?
Yeah, they were a
Okay.
band.
I thought they were all kind of doing their own projects. and
No, they
stuff.
broke up and then they got back. And then I think,
okay.
man, some of that band's like, because I loved that first CD when it came out.
Theory.
Yeah, I was
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God.
I was probably 9 when that CD came out or something like that. I was young,
36.
dude.
That makes
Yeah. Oh man, that would be good for the new metal podcast, dude.
That's a good one. That's like,
Fuck. I have my next one queued up and ready to go though. So,
do you?
oh yeah, and you're gonna like it. I know you like it.
All
All
right.
right. We'll see.
I can't say it. I guess.
No.
Yeah, right? You don't
Wait.
want to spoil it.
No, Bill won't let me say
Yeah.
it. So maybe I'll
like
tell you
the
off air.
surprise. Yeah, I mean, it's,
Okay. But
we still got to do 2 more episodes before.
yeah. Well, we just had Nate. Well, Nate will be airing tomorrow, but we did him obviously in the
3
real
more.
world tomorrow. Rudy will be on next Monday, and then Alex is coming on
Okay.
next week, right?
Yeah.
And then somebody else.
Adam?
Adam.
Biggs.
Oh yeah, I gotta. Okay, I gotta. I'll hit him up.
All right.
Anyway.
Back to our guest that is here.
Yeah. So okay,
Dude, that's something that's so funny about like no matter what podcast, there's always a moment, whether it's like comedy or fishing or fucking music or whatever it's about. There's always a moment where like, wait, what? When is this actually coming out? And then
Oh,
like,
no.
Oh,
the
yeah.
brief discussion of like, oh, next week we're gonna have like such and so on. Like,
yeah,
it's like it's so universal. It's so funny.
yeah, man.
Well, it's hard to keep track
Yeah, I love
of
that
just
shit.
'cause- but when we first started doing this, it was like we weren't doing video or anything, so the audio I could do it in like a day and then have it out the next day,
Yeah,
and it was kind of
Oh, yeah.
nice. But then if something were to happen, like I couldn't upload it, then like oops, we're fucked. We don't have an episode,
yeah,
And so now with the video, we try to do everything a week ahead of time.
Mhm.
And so that makes it very confusing when we're trying to explain, like, wait a minute.
in real time
this is
events.
Oh,
next
yeah.
week. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Makes it a little difficult, but you know,
Yeah, that's what it is.
we'll figure it out one day, maybe.
Never.
I don't know. Yeah, probably not.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So have you been hoarding any hand sanitizer or Clorox wipes?
No, man. Like we've just been like just washing our hands a lot. We didn't like the timing of all this stuff happening to start with was like really bad because we were like running out of toilet paper, and then like we ran out of toilet paper.
Oh man.
And we were like, fuck, like everyone is out of toilet paper now. But then it was nice because the next time we went to the store, like they had some, but it was just like, there was like a week there where, you know, we were using like paper towels and like all kinds of like shit. Because it was just like,
What are we going to do? Yeah.
Right.
yeah, we landed in the window where there just wasn't any because everyone hoarded it.
Yeah.
And we haven't really been going nuts on like the hand sanitizer or anything. Just been like, you know, trying to limit our exposure to the outside world and just wash our hands a lot. That's pretty much been it. We got, I almost feel bad because I know they're definitely in shortage, but my uncle is he's like a carpenter. He works with wood. So he had some spare N95s that were just hanging out in his shop. So my aunt dropped off like 4 for us to just kind of last for a while. Because I guess if you keep them in like a paper bag and you let them like dry out, you can reuse them a bit. So we've just been doing that. But yeah, it's so even weird to think about any of that shit. Like every time I go out to the store or like leave the house and like put a fucking mask on, I'm just like, God, what a weird, like, what the fuck is this?
Right.
It's just so strange. Like to think about that, like it just doesn't even feel real sometimes. I totally get anyone who has like a fucking, you know, weird psychotic episode or some sort of like, you know, Truman Show paranoia going on, or like, you know, these idiots that think it's like a hoax or a conspiracy. It's like all you ever have to do is probably just go to a fucking hospital and see how like they're just totally choked with and like they're losing their minds and like working, you know, 18-hour days just to make sure that they can keep everything like running in any sort of chaos that it even is in. And it's just like, but no one's going to go to the fucking hospital.
Exactly.
All these guys are like, it's a fucking hoax, man. Like, go to the hospital and see it.
Oh, no, that involves doing work when you can just sit at your computer and just post stuff about it.
Yeah, right. Yeah. The craziest part is how easy any of that stuff is. Like, if you look just at the number of people that normally die on a daily basis or a yearly basis, we're way above. So it's like either something like a disease that the whole world got is killing a whole bunch of extra people, or like there's a guy running around with a gun, like, or like what do you think?
Yeah, one dude running around with a gun,
crushing it right now.
Yeah, some psycho, like the most prolific. Like, what do you think? It's either a disease that everyone says is killing everyone.
Well, no, it's the 5G getting everybody.
More.
That's what it is.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
That's another one where like most sane people, when you bring up like, because the first time I saw it, this guy posted it looked like a meme basically, but he was legit serious about it, where it was like, here's a picture of where all the, you know, COVID-19 cases are, major cities. Oh yeah. And then here's a picture where all the 5G towers are in major cities. I was like, yeah, man, they're not going to put towers in the middle of nowhere for nobody. Like, they're going to put them in major cities, and then if people are going to get sick, it's going to be where all the people are.
Yeah.
Like
100%.
Anybody I told that to, that was the first thing they said. They're like, of course, that's where all the people are. And it's like, yeah, logically that makes so much sense, you know? And it's like, how do you not like go that route? And then you go the conspiracy route. It's like, oh.
Someone made a fucking list of like equal coincidences. They're like, okay, so yes, the highest number of COVID cases are around 5G towers. If you follow that same logic, they're also around ice cream parlors, KKK rally spots, and like all this other shit. Where it was just like absolutely like just went no like
zero
cell phone towers. It's those cell phone towers.
Yeah, dude.
I saw another one. They were like, when 3G came out, it was this like epidemic, and then it was this one with 4G. I was like, oh, come on.
I remember when 3G came out, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember that shit?
No. Why was it? Were people freaked out then?
No, but I just remember it being sick, dude, because I had a singular flip phone that had fucking 3G.
Oh, yeah.
And what's great is it's like they're complaining about 5G killing them, and they're posting this status, through their 5G phone.
Yeah,
It's
and like a
idiot.
4G phone. Yeah,
It's like,
like
come
no, this
on.
new one's real dangerous.
Right.
And then it's like, well, if you read about it, it's supposed to have like a weaker signal. They're like, no, man,
Nope, that's
you
not
don't know what it's gonna do.
Do the research, man. Do the research.
Yeah, right.
Like, okay.
Yeah, that's fucking
It's
wild,
always
dude.
funny too when you like show people like the research. They're like, do the research, man. You're like, okay, well, so here's what I was able to find. They're like, no, not that, this, and then they show you their crazy shit.
Yeah.
Like not your research, my research.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
That website's bullshit. It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
You know
right.
who runs it? I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like it's
You're
so
something
funny.
from Stormfront.
Stormfront dot
Yeah.
like dot fucking
some random
OGG
like, yeah.
or something like that. It's just like, what, dude?
Yeah.
What is this? This is a real site? Like, yeah, that shit is so
Yeah.
fucking. Ugh, yeah, it just
absurd,
gives me the
yeah.
willies, dude.
Yeah,
Ugh,
it's a real bummer.
it is a bummer for sure, but maybe nah. Never mind. Maybe this will put an end to conspiracy theories, but
Oh
no.
no.
Let's just bring them on board.
Oh, no,
right?
no,
There's no way.
Yeah.
No, yeah, way more.
It's too easy.
Yeah,
to go down
after
that
this is
rabbit
done,
hole.
like, oh yeah, like after this shit blows over, like in some sort of 5-year period, there will be some other thing that happens that affects quite a lot of people, and they'll 100% connect whatever that
It'll
is
be
to
6G by
this
then.
fucking coronavirus. Yeah, they're gonna tie everything together. That's what they always do.
Mhm.
Speaking of conspiracy theories, I watched that fucking movie Conspiracy Theory with Mel Gibson,
Mel Gibson.
like
Hell
a
yeah.
couple of weeks ago. Yeah,
Is it good?
it's a good one, man. It's a good
Man, I
fucking
haven't
flick.
seen it in so long.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Dude, talk about misogynistic, dude. You ever hear the Mel Gibson
Oh
tapes,
my
dude?
god, dude, it's such a bummer because like that guy is like, I don't think I've seen him act in something where I didn't love him in it. Where I've come out of every movie I've watched with that guy in it. Like, fuck, that was
Yeah.
good. He is good in it. But then like,
So you seen
what an
Daddy's Home
absolute
too?
psychopath.
Daddy's
Oh, I
Home
guess
Isn't
maybe
that the
not.
one with Mark Wahlberg and Will Ferrell?
Yeah,
right?
yes. And he's Mark Wahlberg's dad or something like that in the movie.
Yeah. And
I
then
never
John
saw it,
Lithgow's Will Ferrell's
Great.
father.
What a fucking killer
Great get.
cast,
Yeah.
dude.
Oh yeah. Dude, even in fucking Expendables 3, he was good. I was like,
Oh,
this
hell
movie
yeah.
sucks, and he's like actually doing very well in it. Like, oh
What
god,
do you think
I
the
just-
last movie he was in? Was it Daddy's Home 2?
I mean, that's probably the
I've-
biggest like, theatrical release he's been in. I know he's done a lot of
yeah,
streaming.
I think it might have been
films.
that Bloodfather one on Netflix.
Yeah.
That
Oh,
one was
shit.
okay.
Okay.
He was also in Dragged Across Concrete. That was pretty fun.
okay. I
wait,
hadn't
was
even
that-
heard of that.
Dragged Across Concrete. I think that was him.
I don't know what that
Yeah.
is.
It's unless I might be confusing him with somebody else, but I'm pretty sure he was in Dragged Across Concrete. It was like him and Vince Vaughn are these like crooked cops that get wind of like a drug bust type thing, and they figure out that they can like suit up and go rob the drug bust. And then a bunch of shit happens when they do
Ah.
that. It's a pretty sick movie. It takes what seems like a fairly realistic approach to like big crazy action shit. Like instead of like, all these crazy big high speed chases where like trucks are flipping and like all this shit is happening, it's like just a grim fucking shootout that seems like extremely realistic. It's like
Whoa.
it's almost like No Country for Old Men. It's pretty sick.
Oh, wow. Interesting.
It's a pretty cool movie, but also like, just a super violent excuse for like, people to shoot each other up and shit. But like, it's fun.
And it's
It's
Vince
a fun
Vaughn?
movie.
Vince Vaughn is in it with him?
Yeah, Vince Vaughn is in it. Yeah.
Shit.
And then I just saw, I don't know if you guys have heard of that, Brawl in Cell Block 99 with Vince Vaughn in it.
Yeah, I never saw it, but
No,
I know
I've never
about
heard
it.
of that.
It's pretty cool, man. It's like it's almost like an exploitation, flick. It's pretty much, he's put in a situation where he just has to kill somebody in prison. Then it gets like extreme. He just has to go through this labyrinth of shit. It's like nuts.
Sick.
It's pretty sick too, because there's these moments where he like the news of like him realizing he has to go deeper gets like delivered to him, and he's just like, and then he like just goes and gets it done, and it's like, fuck. It's a pretty cool flick. It's a lot of him just like punching people. He's like a big guy physically, and they really play that up in the movie where he's just like this big old boy.
Well, goddamn, cool. Man. I want to see Max star in that movie, dude.
Sequel.
Max?
Yeah, my guitar player, Max, the big ass.
Oh,
dude.
yeah.
Sick to see him in any movie, honestly. But
that would be awesome. He would be great for a role like that where he's just like beating the fuck out of people. That'd be great.
Yeah. He'd probably be down too. I mean, like, I don't think he's ever hit anybody in his entire life, but like, it'd be fun to watch him pretend to do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, watching that guy run is scary enough. You know, like just when he moves. Dude, when he moves real fast, it's just like, fuck this,
Get
man.
out of the way.
Yeah.
Yep. It's crazy, dude. That's like, UFC's been putting a lot of their stuff out, like, relatively for free or like easier access.
Cool.
They haven't been doing as many pay-per-views, and like, dude, watching some of those like heavyweight guys, the way that they move, it's just like scary as hell. It's like you shouldn't be able to like do this shit. Like,
it's not fair.
Like weighing that much and being that big, it's just like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Are you big into MMA?
I like watching this shit. I don't know, like, I watch it with buddies of mine that like specifically know like the moves and when they're being done and like the fighting records of these guys and like what their career's been like. So I'm just like, I don't know any of it, but it's like, I love watching two people fight. I don't know what it is. Like, that's always my favorite part of like movies where like, you know, they get chucked into like gladiatorial combat where they have to like fight, you know, things. I'm just like, oh man, that's the fucking coolest. There's something about it.
Yeah.
I just love that shit. I think it's so sick.
Yeah, it is pretty sick.
Have you guys ever seen that like Armed Combat League shit that they do?
No, I don't
know. I've not heard of. Yeah.
It's basically UFC, but with like armor and like metal
rocking,
weapons,
chainmail and stuff. Like,
and they just beat the fuck out of each other. It's awesome, man. And they have it in each individual country, and they'll do like, you know, Chicago versus Boston or whatever. Like they would do normal sports, but the biggest way that they do it is they have all these countries go out to like, they'll do like Prague, where they go to like a fairground, and they're in like these fields with these fenced off areas, and they'll have like 1-on-1, 2-on-2, 4v4, all the way up to like 30 versus 30.
Whoa.
Of like all these dudes in armor just like fucking charging each other and like spearing each other like football players and beating the fuck out of each other with weapons. Like, it's awesome. It's so cool that they're like by country too, because you'll see like Poland versus France, and it's just like all these dudes with like they have like the Polish flag like on their fucking armor, and like it's so sick, man. Their tabards and like, you know, the fucking feathers and the flags and shit and like their shields. It's just
that's awesome.
It's so sick.
Yeah.
And it's cool too, because like for the bigger battles, sometimes it'll be like a 16v16, and like there might be you know, Japan versus Russia, and like the Japanese dudes are little, so maybe like 3 or 4 of them sustain some real bad injuries. So then like they'll have like 3 or 4 that they are missing, and then like Italy will be like, hey, we'll give you some of our guys. So you'll have these like huge Italian dudes showing up with the Japanese guys to like fill in, and then they all like beat the fuck out of the Russians. Like,
that's sick, man.
It's so fucking cool, man. It's great. It's cool too, because like the US obviously is like a new country, so the flags and stuff that they have on like their tabards and their like shields and shit, it all looks like colonial era, because it's like very simplified, like American flag looking stuff. It's like, it's so sick.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Look up like ACL or Armed Combat League, or I forget what the international one. It's like IMCF or something like that, but it's sick, dude. It's pretty fun to watch people beat the fuck out of each other.
Dude, that is fucking wild. Did you know they brought the XFL back?
No, did they really?
Yeah, they did.
Is it like specifically because of all this shit?
I have no idea, but it just reminds me of that.
Even before the quarantine.
Oh no, yeah, they brought it before quarantine. Yeah. But yeah, it's back, man.
Okay. I remember I went to go see the Chicago Enforcers or
Yeah.
whatever they were called.
Yeah.
Yeah, my sister was like really active in band in high school, and the Palatine band, the band teacher like had like Hollywood hookups and shit. So like my sister was an extra in like a football movie or something.
Oh,
wow.
shit.
It's like the marching band got flown out to do that for some reason, and then like they played an XFL game, and they were like the band,
That's
so
awesome,
we got
the
to
pet
see
band.
that.
That's
Yeah.
awesome, man.
It was so weird. Like I could be remembering wrong, but I'm pretty sure a couple of times someone kicked the fucking ball and it like hit the ceiling
That sounds
and like
about
bounced off.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just like,
It was
what the fuck?
lawless,
Like
yeah.
it was so weird. It
Yeah,
was
XFL
so
is
weird.
pretty lawless,
so
man.
lawless.
That's why I like that sport, because
Yeah.
it's like
And it's all these like dudes that didn't make it, and they're like,
oh yeah, they're all like C-rate guys, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and they're just like
Yeah.
C-listers.
kill each other.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah,
just like
just
some
beating the
vile
fuck
shit.
out of each other.
Right. And just like a
Yeah.
little out of shape, like,
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Totally.
Well,
I
Vince
just think about
McMahon
so many of those.
is.
Oh no, go ahead.
Isn't Vince McMahon going to be some political figure now?
He is
Oh.
working for Trump. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, right.
Him and Dana
Carvey.
White from
Yeah,
UFC
Dana White from
are working
UFC.
for
Yeah,
Trump.
Oh, really?
Part of
Trump
some,
fucking loves UFC, dude. He's
Does-
all about it.
No shit.
Yeah, he calls fighters personally. He's like,
Whoa.
praises them and shit. That would be, that's got to be so weird.
Yeah, it's got to be really
Especially
weird.
if like, I don't know how most of the like dudes that fight like think, but it would be so fucking strange to like know that the business relationship between the organization that's giving you such a big shot in what you love to do is like kind of closely tied to this dude. And if he called you on the phone, like if your base reaction is just like not pick up or just be like, go fuck yourself, like you're a piece of shit, like that you might not get asked back. Like,
Right.
I don't know. That's like so weird to me. I was thinking about that the other day because he fucking calls people like, congratulations on your win
Right.
tonight. Like, fuck.
Thanks, dude.
Yeah.
Hey,
I wonder what his favorite band is. What do you think Trump's favorite band is? Iced Earth?
definitely.
I don't think he's physically capable of receiving joy from artwork.
Yeah, at all?
I think that's something that I don't think he can
Fair.
enjoy music. I think he's biologically incapable.
That'd be weird to like just see a dude in a room and you put on music and he just doesn't
So
like,
what is this? What? Turn
Yeah.
it off.
Yeah, I think you would see him moving his leg to the beat or something, but it would be like when a sociopath like displays emotion for your sake.
Right. To,
Yeah.
To,
I don't to
make you
blend in. I don't think
comfortable
he.
and, you blend in. And,
Yeah, I don't think he feels anything. Yeah,
But he would like have a cover up almost. So like if I asked Trump,
so
like,
he
dude,
seems
yeah,
normal.
yeah,
You know?
I wonder what his favorite.
Yeah,
misery,
right.
I wonder what his answer is for when I ask him if I ever get to ask him what his favorite Misery Signals album is. I wonder what he would say.
I like Maroon 5.
Yeah, wrong band. Yeah, that'd
I
be
don't
fun.
know. We
He
could
probably would
tweet
like
him and
Maroon
he'd answer.
Maroon 5.
Maroon 5.
Maroon 5.
They're still a band, right?
I like
Yeah.
Ramones. I think the Ramones are very good.
Dude, I love fucking watching videos of the one guy from Ramones that's left alive and how he gets into fights with people and he's like, you know,
is he
fucking
really?
punk rock. Yeah, he got into a
Wait,
fight
which
with
guy? Who's
whatever,
last
like the
survivor?
last Ramone that's like alive. It's like I don't know, Sylvester Ramone or whatever the fuck his name is. I don't remember his name. There's a video of him.
Theodore Ramon.
Yeah.
Good old Theodore Ramon.
It's like him and
Otto
then-
Ramon.
and there's another guy.
Ramon.
He's arguing with another guy, like calling him out and saying that they're not a punk or like that he's not punk rock or I forget.
Wait, the
fuck.
Ramones guy?
Yeah,
is
the
calling
Ramones
somebody
guy's
not
calling.
punk?
Yeah, some other old ass punk dude. He's like, "You'll never punk rock," and it's like, dude, you're about to die, man.
Right.
Like, you really got to do this shit now
To the
Like,
grave, you know?
It's just funny to me, man. Yeah, it's
I would've
very
figured
strange.
That guy would have been sitting in Queens eating refried beans,
Yeah, dude.
reading all his magazines.
Did you ever really get into a lot of punk music?
Man, I had a real point in time where like I was trying to get into it a lot, and I had a bunch of like t-shirts and shit, like because I had a lot of friends who were really into punk, and there were some bands that I dug. Like I did like Screeching Weasel. I liked a couple of records from Rancid a lot.
Okay.
I like the Distillers, not their like first EP, but that Sing Sing Death House record they put out. I liked a lot. I'm trying to think of other punk shit that I like. I wanted to like the Ramones, and I got their greatest hits, and I listened to it to the point where like I could sing their songs, but like I never liked them all that much.
Yeah.
The Sex Pistols, I had their album, and like they're obviously like awesome, but I never got into them all that much. There are all these bands that like were clearly very like seminal and very cool for punk rock that like people loved, and I just couldn't get into them. Like the Clash, like
Yeah,
I get
same.
that they're fucking like legendary, amazing, like they really melded a lot of like cool music styles together, but I just never got into them.
Mhm.
One that I guess is kind of Clash adjacent or whatever was the Specials. I like the Specials a lot, but then again, like I don't have any of their records. There's just like a few songs that I'm like, this sounds really cool.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of other punk shit that I like. That was pretty much it. It was like Rancid, the Distillers, and Screeching Weasel, I guess. There's probably some other stuff, but like I guess I was always more into like stuff that was like heavier. Like probably the first heavy band that I ever saw was like Poison the Well. I went to go see
Oh fuck.
The Used at like Warped Tour in, I want to say like 2003.
Wow.
We wanted to go see The Used, so we got there early. We got there one band early, and that was Poison the Well. And I remember it was like noon, and their singer got up there and he was like, "Hey, I just want to thank everybody for like rolling out of bed to get out here to see us. I know it's early as fuck. We never really played a show in daylight, so this feels fucking weird." And then he's like, "This first song, I think they played Nerdy right off the bat, or
Nice.
I can't remember what he said, but I remember like they hit the hi-hat just like, and then like that was the first time I'd been at a show where I could like feel the impact of the bass drum like in my sternum when it hit.
Yeah.
And like this dude just fucking like bellowing into the mic. I was like, I've never seen anything like this, and I fucking love it. I was like, dude, like the hair on the back of my neck stood up. Like I was immediately in love. And then directly to my right, I started getting like pushed super hard because they were like clearing out like a circle pit, and I thought they were going to start like shoving or like running around in a circle like you'd see in like videos and shit. But they all started like doing like the karate like slam dancing, like moshing shit. And so I was just like, I'd never seen that either. So I was watching this like choreographed like backflipping karate shit to like the coolest music I'd ever heard, and I was just like, this is so cool. It was like the fucking absolute coolest thing. Dude, I loved it. And like I went home immediately and bought that You Come Before You record, and that was one that they did with those guys from Cult of Luna out in Sweden. And that was like, I mean, it was like half surf rock. They just totally experimented with all the tones. Like they were chugging, but it wasn't just like open chords. He was playing like bar chords with the distortion way down and like palm muting that. So like even when they were chugging, it was like it had all this musicality to it, and like just all these weird interludes with like just the craziest sounds. And then this dude just screaming his ass off. I love that band so much. But it was probably like I started listening to heavy music with like maybe like System of a Down.
Oh,
but, like,
that was my first start too.
Yeah, dude. Fucking Toxicity.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yes. And like, dude, that was like the first heavy thing that I listened to. But like the first like screaming like aggressive band that I ever listened to was definitely Poison the Well. And then from then it was like I really like that Avenged Sevenfold CD that they had that was just like super corny before they blew up, because I saw them at Warped Tour too. The one that had all the like he was like singing through his nose. It was like
yeah, dude, I had that CD too, man.
Yeah, and his screaming was all nasal too.
Yeah,
but it was like really corny. It was like
yeah, it was like bad, man. Yeah, I used to love that record. So I know. Is it the second one with Unholy Confessions on it?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
And there's the part where there's like the. It's the corniest song I've ever heard in my life. It's amazing. There's the part where he's like, "What is this happening? Why is this happening?"
Yeah.
who the fuck are you? And then all of it stops. It's like, who the fuck?
Yeah, dude.
Are you?
Yeah,
It's just
dude.
like, as a kid, I was just like, yeah. But then, like,
man.
I picked that up, like, I don't know, a couple of years ago and listened to it, and I was like, this is the worst thing I've ever heard in my entire fucking life.
Quite hold up.
Who the fuck? I was like, I can't take this. My skin is
Dude,
crawling.
it's so funny because it's like they did a total like 180 from that, and it's even like just as bad in a different way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, it was like Guns N' Roses with like, you know,
Yeah.
good drums behind. Yeah.
yeah, good
Dude, they-
drums. Yeah.
Oh my God. Like people went nuts for that fucking band. And like,
Oh, yeah.
I totally got it. But like, you would see that fucking like skull with the wings. And I was just like, oh my God,
Yeah.
like cornball.
Oh yeah, and it's only
Yeah,
gotten
but that-
worse.
Oh my God. That CD was fucking cool. I'm trying to think of from there. I got into like As I Lay Dying and The Bled and Norma Jean
Okay.
and a little bit of like Bleeding Through. I could never like, I don't know. My parents like abhorred violence, so I could never get into stuff personally that was like kill you, shoot you, like kill myself, like
yeah.
all the like really violent shit, or like, you know, where it was like the album cover was like, you know, someone getting, you know, sliced up, or like a knife fucking a woman or whatever people did, because
Mhm.
it I knew that it would bum my parents out, but it wouldn't so much be them like, you're not allowed to do this. They would just be like, we're like worried. Like, do you see what this looks like? It's like a woman being like murdered. And I'd be like, yeah, this is indefensible. Why would I enjoy that? So I was gravitated towards the stuff that was maybe like a little more artsy. And that's
Sure.
always why like As I Lay Dying and Norma Jean appealed, because they were like heavy as fuck, but it was always like, it's basically like heavy Creed. Like the lyrics
Oh
are
yeah,
very
they're
safe.
yeah,
So,
yeah,
like,
yeah. Extremely safe.
yeah, it was either like very overt, like I love you, God, or like it was a more poetic, like dark way of saying I
Yeah.
love you, God, where you could be like, he could be talking about a chick, maybe it's possible.
Oh yeah. Well, you know, and of course, Tim Lambesis was the one that almost ended up murdering his wife.
Right.
So, you
Dude,
know,
right?
the
Oh my
irony of
God,
that.
that
last
was
one you
crazy.
expect. And then George Corpse Grinder is posting pictures of like the toy crane games that he plays at Toys R Us, and
Right.
like pictures of his
Oh,
kids
yeah,
and how much
right.
he loves his
His
wife
love
and
of
shit.
World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember like reading the lyrics to Asphyxiation as like a youngster and just like being like, I think this might be a little much for me. And I
yeah.
took the CD and like put it somewhere. Like I didn't listen to it maybe ever again. But then like, yeah, that guy's he's a teddy bear. He's got a fucking family.
Yeah.
He plays World of Warcraft.
Oh yeah,
He's
he
got the
does.
biggest neck in the business.
Dude, have you ever seen that video of him? Like, it's from years ago, but he's talking about how much he loves the Horde, and he's calling My Chemical Romance like a gay band and shit like that.
Yeah, he's
like,
and
"They're
also
fucking
and like
good pussies. Like,
yeah. And then he's calling like the Alliance gay.
yeah,
He's like,
yeah,
he's like,
Fuck
those
the
fucking
Alliance."
elves are gay.
yeah.
Man, all right.
It's like
I
a
mean, I
time
guess they
capsule
are,
of the
but-
90s. Like,
I gotta find that video,
Yeah.
man. That's like
2000s.
some of my favorite shit on
it's
the
a good
internet.
one.
Yeah.
Like how passionate he is about it.
Yeah,
It's
how
so
fucking
good.
mad he gets.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's so funny,
Oh
man.
God, so fucking funny, dude.
There was one episode
God.
of. Have you ever listened to Jamie Josta's podcast?
No, but that's great that he's got one.
It's
A-
hilarious.
anytime that anyone says anyone's got a podcast, like I believe it.
yeah,
Like the most, like you could be like, I don't know, the most obscure person that you could think of, like having a podcast. I'd be like, I 100%
Sounds
believe it.
about
Like yes, Steve Buscemi, like
yeah.
someone that has like no reason to have. Like,
Does he
yeah,
have one?
No.
Probably not. But also, if
He
someone
might,
said
yeah.
Steve Buscemi has a podcast, I'd be like, I'd give it a
Yeah,
couple. Of
I get it.
episodes.
Okay, yeah.
Dude,
Yeah.
Josta's been doing his show forever. Like he's been doing it for a long time. It's one of like the
It's
bigger metal
one of, like, the
podcasts.
OGs of doing it.
Cool, man. Hell yeah.
There's an episode where he has Corpse Grinder on, and Corpse Grinder's just talking about how much he fucking loves SeaWorld. And like,
Oh yeah.
he's just like
Dude, that
defending
movie's pretty
SeaWorld
great.
like big time. Yeah,
It's supposed to have been before
it
the
tanked.
documentary, right?
no, it was after. Yeah, he
Oh,
was
really?
still
He was
defending
defending
it.
it.
Yeah,
All right.
it's like really
Oh,
fucking.
we're not. we're not
This is
talking
opposed to-
the movie. We're talking the place.
Yeah.
Or am I? I'm thinking Waterworld.
Oh,
What the
okay.
fuck? Oh my
No.
god.
Great.
Great.
I'm like
Yeah,
over here
great
like, yes,
movie.
SeaWorld was a sick movie, dude. Waterworld, my bad.
Yeah, Dennis
Oh, so
Hopper
he
and
likes
SeaWorld,
SeaWorld
phenomenal.
a lot?
Yeah.
So he's really into like, God, yeah.
Oceanography.
I mean, what a miserable place.
Yeah, he's down with it though, man. He loves it.
Fuck. God, I haven't watched that documentary. That's like,
That's
SeaWorld?
I never watched it.
I didn't know there was one. I never saw it though. I
You
know.
remember?
Yeah.
Blackfin or
Something like that.
Blacktooth.
I remember the documentary
Something,
about the
I forget.
dolphins. I remember that one.
There's one about
I don't know,
there's one
there's a
about
documentary
orcas and like,
everything.
yeah. I'm trying to remember that one about the orcas seemed really sad. That one also like, that was one of the first documentaries that people like really freaked out about.
Yeah.
It was kind of close to when like Grizzly Man was released and shit like that.
Oh yeah,
Is it the guy that got killed by
killed
the
by the bear
bears?
at the end.
Yeah, dude. Have you seen that documentary?
I
I've
have
only
not.
seen the ending.
No.
Oh, dude, it's like, it's good. It's
Yeah.
really good. He's a really fucking weird guy. But also it's like amazing. He like, I mean, he did get really close to the bears and like fuck around with them in ways that he shouldn't have, but like smaller animals that like he was in no danger of being killed by, like, there's like videos of him just hanging out with like foxes. Like they just were like playing with him. Like they would like steal his hat and like run away with it.
Yeah.
Because they wanted to like chase around with him and stuff. Like it was cool. It's worth checking out. It's really interesting. It's a cool document. I've been watching so many fucking
Do they
documentaries, man.
Do they show him getting killed at the end?
They don't show anything.
Yeah, I think
and they
show
don't.
the initial like and then it's like it, right?
I think they show a bear that they think might have done it, and I think I don't know if they show you like a severed. They might show you like a severed arm. If not, they go into like graphic detail about here's where the arm with his watch was. Here's like blah 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 blah, and they like talk about the contents of the stomach. They have like clothes in it. It's heavy, dude. But they I don't think they play the audio for you, but they show footage of someone putting on the headphones and listening to the attack.
Ooh.
Damn.
Because he had a camera set up when it happened. And like, yeah, dude. And it wasn't just him, it was like his girlfriend too.
Oh, fuck. Both
And-
of them were out there?
Yeah, and she was even saying to somebody before that trip, she's like, I kind of don't want to go. Like, it's getting weirder and weirder when we go out there. Like, it feels dangerous. Like, it's so fucking heartbreaking that, yeah, she ended up fucking dying. But,
Yeah, fuck, man. I feel like that's something you shouldn't fuck with.
Yeah, those are dangerous
100%.
animals.
You know
They're
what I
big,
mean? It's
you
like,
know?
maybe
Yeah.
you shouldn't be doing shit like that.
But I mean,
When
what was
there
that
was
guy's
like
even,
a-
like background? Like, was
That's
he?
like if I did a whale shark documentary and I was just like, yeah, this is
Check it
fine,
out.
right? Yeah.
yeah. There's even people that are like, yeah, like there were like some Inuit folks that they had on there that were like, yeah, it's kind of a part of our culture that like bears are their own thing and like
Right.
you should not like go and fuck with them. Like you leave them
alone.
be.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that him doing that wasn't even just like dangerous, it was kind of like blasphemous. And it makes sense. Like he really fucking pushed the envelope. It's a really cool documentary, but it's so sad. It's so
Yeah.
fucked up. Yeah.
Shit, maybe I'll check it out.
It's good, man. There was another documentary I saw recently that was fucking awesome. I've just been like, just devouring shit. Cause like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I've just been getting to this spot where my brain is going in like overdrive. So I'm like, okay, if I can distract myself with like a couple of movies, I can just go to bed and it's not a big deal. But
Sure.
fuck.
And you guys,
It's just
see
weird,
the,
man.
The Daryl Hammond one from SNL.
No, I don't
No,
think I haven't.
my parents watched that. They said it was really good, but it also seemed like very dark.
It is good, yeah, and it is very, very dark. Because like I don't know if like I remember when it got brought up that he had like some issues with his childhood, like brutal stuff had happened, but they didn't really go into detail. And I remember hearing about it, and I was like, "That's crazy!" Like here's this dude that's like so fucking funny that's been on SNL forever.
Uh-huh.
It's kind of weird to hear that, and it kind of went to the wayside. and he came out with a book, and then the documentary is following, like after he just released the book, and doing talks about it, and it's pretty dark, and like explaining like what his childhood was like and how he goes back to like realize just how messed up it was, like, and the reason why he does the things that he does, and it's crazy. Like I didn't think his life was as crazy as it was until you see that.
Oh yeah,
and the movie itself came out last year, I think 2019, but I just saw it on Netflix the other day. Oh
shit! Okay, the documentary.
There's a lot of it looked super good. There's so many fucking comedians that I feel like it's not as much of a stereotype now, but like going, back into the days when like you'd have these gigantic comedic personalities, especially in like the 80s and 90s and stuff. Like Jim Carrey had a fucked up childhood, like Chris Farley had a fucked up childhood, and then like, they go on to be like on top of the fucking world. But like, I think a lot of people, they would find that like unbelievable like talent and ability to just be these like insane characters through like extreme misery and suffering, and like
it almost seems like with guys like that, it's just a matter of it's an escape from them, from that trauma to use that, and it's they're using it in a positive way, which is awesome, taking that energy and doing that with it, so it kind of brings up that question of like, if it wasn't for the trauma, would they be as big as they are? Like, like stuff like that. Like, it's weird. Like,
right.
You don't want, you never wish that upon anybody, but sometimes in those situations, it does breed that kind of like art or creativity, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I've had friends that like, and I mean, they've been fucking around, but they're like, yeah, I want to hit my kid just enough.
Right. Just to inspire him enough.
Just, oh man, fuck. Just ride that line,
Yep. And give him a story to tell.
Me, it's like, yeah, right. It's like, dude, even if you're the fucking like friendliest and most loving and supporting dad, like you're going to have some bad days. That kid's going to have like a couple of bad memories. Like nobody's perfect.
Yeah.
Your fucking sump pump's going to explode and your basement's going to be flooded and you're going to be putting holes in walls with your fists. And no, nothing's perfect. You're never going to, your kid's going to have something to draw from, you won't need to manufacture like
some type of abuse to get him, motivated.
Right.
This song is about how my dad punched fucking holes in the wall with our fucking sub pump. Hell yeah, man. I think I might do that. If I ever have a kid, Sing about this.
In 20 years, you're going to make a song about this.
Yeah.
Shove him every once in a while. Don't even explain it. Just, while you're walking by him on your way out to the car to go to work or something, just shove his head into the wall or, give him a good push. Just nothing crazy. Just, don't explain it. Just go on your way. I have a buddy who used to do that. My buddy used to do that. We'd just be like at a bar and he'd like, instead of going like, hey, like I'm gonna squeeze by you or like, excuse me, he would just like shove you.
Yeah.
And I'd like look at him and then he wouldn't make eye contact. And I remember saying this, I was like, hey, like, does Jambo ever like fucking like push you too hard or like fuck, like get in your way or whatever? And they're like, yeah, he does it on purpose. He thinks it's funny. It is funny, I guess. And then I just picture every time after that, whenever he would do it, I would just picture him like shoving me, solid face, like not react at all. But then as he's walking away, just like cracking up. I'm like, yeah, he probably just thinks it's so funny.
Yeah.
Fucking son of a bitch.
I had a friend do that once when we were in high school.
Yeah.
And there was this kid that was
just
like,
shoved you?
He was like a year or two younger and he was kind of tiny, but he also had one of those backpacks that was like, it looked like he had the whole everything in the kitchen sink, on him, like one of those. And so with that backpack, it was kind of protruding into like the aisle we were walking through. And we're like mid conversation talking. My buddy's in front and he just like shoves the backpack, which weighs as much, if not more than the kid. And the kid just like slams in the locker. It's like real quick. He caught himself, but he like, boom, like that. And I'm like, what the fuck, dude? And like my buddy didn't even react. Like he was just like out of the way and just like shoves him.
Holy
He's like,
shit.
Boom. I look over. This kid has the look of like, I'm going to fucking kill this guy. But he's also like 80 pounds lighter and like a foot shorter. And like, you know,
Yeah.
like there's nothing he could do. And I'm just like, I'm sorry. He's a dickhead.
Yeah.
I don't know what to tell
All right,
you.
well.
Sorry.
Yeah, that is really
But
funny.
it was just like, I couldn't believe it. It was
Fuck.
I was like, good God, man. Like, what are you doing?
Dude,
Well-
that growing up small is like, man. I mean, I've been short my whole fucking life, and that's just, you have to accept that there's a whole physical aspect of the
Right.
world where you can't be angry.
Right.
Oh, I mean, you can
Like,
channel it
you're
in different
gonna
ways.
get your ass beat.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, fucking scream into a microphone about it.
There you go.
Yeah, dude. So you were in Beneath the Glass, right?
Yeah, dude. Yes, I was.
Dude, that's sick.
Yeah, the first band I was in like high school, and that was a band called Turn for the Worst. That was like a terrible mishmash of like System of a Down and Nirvana and Blink-182 and like AFI, and then like later when we got into like heavier stuff like As I Lay Dying and The Bled, we like shoved that into that, so it made like no sense. we had a couple of cool songs, but mostly it just sucked.
Yeah.
But like it was bad. But then yeah, I was in Beneath the Glass after that, which was also like kind of weird. We were okay. I think like outside of me, there were aspects of that band that were really cool. Like the guy Juan that did most of our writing on guitar, and our drummer Jake were really good. And then after that, I was in a band called In Arms that had me and Jake in it. And I think my vocals in Arms were better than Beneath the Glass. And Jake has always just been super solid on the drums. He would sit in the pocket a lot, but like his pocket was really good. It was always like, he had a ton of influence from like Misery Signals. And then like, he loved like bands like Animosity. So he would write
hell yeah.
real good like breakdowns and shit like that. But he could hang with like a melodic beat because of the Misery Signal stuff. And then, yeah, he was a really good drummer. And then there was this guy Peter that was in that In Arms band, and that started as more like a chugging, like we wanted to kind of sound like Saints Never Surrender or Ghost Inside or It Prevails or something like that. And we did a decent job of pulling that sound off. But then we started all getting into more of like stuff that was on like that Death Wish label.
Oh,
so
yeah.
we would super into like The Carrier and like Hope Conspiracy and Verse. Verse was on Bridge 9, I think, but we were getting into stuff that was more like that. So the music kept getting like simpler and like darker, and that was cool because like as opposed to having some kind of like stylish posture, I just got to focus more on like way more of like what I was thinking and feeling, and just really like throwing, you know, eventually like my super negative emotions into it. And eventually that band got really dark and then turned into this band called Disbeliever that we put out a record, but I don't think we ever played a show. But In Arms played a couple of those songs for a while, and they were just like, I don't know, that I wasn't going through a great time. So it really like let me vent in a great way and like get all those emotions out. And then that was around the time that I met, well, I had known Vince for years. I've known Vince for like forever, but when him and I were playing in Disbeliever, I think they were having trouble with Glenn around that time. And he was like, hey, do you want to come to a practice and like jam with us? So I did. And like, we all just thought it was like an awesome fit. And then we had a guy, Brian, in there that we kicked out. And then we got, Brian, you guys know Brian. Shout out to Brian Spornchild. And you guys know Brian, and yeah, it's been us five for like, I want to say 6, 7, 8, maybe even, yeah, probably like 8 years. Cause I think I joined Thieves in 2010. So 2020 is about, yeah, I guess, I don't know if that was a leading question for me to go through all that. So I'm sorry if I just took you through all that for no reason.
No,
that's like my progression is going from like, you know, shitty like teenager who couldn't really sing to like realizing I couldn't sing and just screaming, and then getting way better at screaming as time went on, to, you know, just trying to sound as like extreme as I can now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, it's sick.
And
you're killer now.
Thanks, dude.
Yeah, dude.
Thanks, man. I'm always super insecure about the way I sound. So it's I appreciate that very much. I'm really glad that you like the way that it sounds. I just like,
Oh,
I always
dude,
try to think of like
hell
the
yeah.
grossest shit I can make my fucking voice do, you know?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, your whole fucking band is like I think Thieves is like my favorite band from Chicago at the moment, just because of like
Dude, that means a fucking lot.
how fucking wild all of
That's
your shows
huge.
are, and it's just so fucking. I don't know. Your guys' music is so cool. Like,
Dude, thank you. I love what the guys in the band do. I'm just always insecure about my part of it, but like I'm right there with you. Anytime that they show me like a new song, I'm just like, fuck yes, I get to sing over this. Like,
Yeah,
it's
dude.
fucking awesome. Yeah, sick. It's like I just get so psyched. It's fucking sick. But yeah, it's been a super huge privilege. Like I know that when Glenn was in the band, like they had like a terror kind of thing going on, and then I know they wanted to go more towards like integrity, and then there's all this like fucking crazy black metal shit in there now, and like whatever else. Like sometimes when I listen back to that LP, I'm just like, what the fuck are we? Because it's
I know it's sick.
one song will be like grind, and then the next one's like black metal, and then the next one after that is just like more straight death metal, and then there's something with like, there'll be like southern like rock shit in there. I'm like, I don't know what the fuck is going on. Like I like it, but
yeah, it's cool. It's a
yeah,
very
it's just
eclectic
weird.
sound, dude.
I always hope that like the production and the fact that it's my voice kind of ties everything together. But dude, we fucking love Warforged and Something Is Waiting and like fucking Roman Ring, like all of it. Like it's like some fucking real fucking cool bands that you guys are connected to, man.
Thanks,
It's awesome.
man. Yeah.
Hell yeah. I mean, like we're so excited to like have gotten to like play shows with you guys, because like it's a real fucking solid group of people, and like the music that like everybody's playing, like, oh, I forgot Baron Air, like, dude, fucking Baron Air is killer. Like
Yeah.
there's just like all these bands that are like connected to the same group of pals, and like I love fucking going to those shows, because like regardless of the level of interest that I have about some of the openers or even some of the headliners, I know like if any of you guys are on there, like I'm gonna fucking love what's going on. It's so sick.
Hell yeah.
It's awesome, man. It's a real cool community. Like it's just sick. Like I feel like Thieves has always maybe been on like the outskirts of like a scene or whatever. It's just been so weird, because like a lot of the time we've like played shows in Chicago, and there'll be like 5 people we know, and if other bands aren't drawing, it's like we're playing to our fucking girlfriends, dude. It's like
Yeah.
nobody's there. And then I'll go and see like other bands that kind of have a similar style to us, and it's like fucking slammed, it's packed, and I'm like, what? Like how are like maybe we just fucking suck. I don't know. Like where are you people when we play? But then like we'll go out of town to like Minneapolis or Nashville, and that's when like people like come out, and they specifically are like, dude, I'm so glad you guys came back through. Like we've been waiting for you to come back. And I'm like, oh fuck, like okay, we don't suck. Like it's like nice to go out of town and have people be like, we love your music. It's like, okay, thank God, because we were just like playing to nobody in Chicago, and they fucking hate our guts. Like it's been cool. It's been cool to like play shows with people that like our shit, and we like your shit. And I don't know, man, it's just been a fucking blast. It's been really cool.
Yeah, it has been cool, man. Fuck, I wish the world wasn't close so we could just fucking tour together by now.
Oh my God, dude, that would be fucking awesome. Like, I know it's like kind of tough for us to all get like time off of work, because like I'm like fucking unemployed right now, but I'm the only one who's not married with a fucking mortgage, and then Brian's got a kid. But like, dude, any time that we can make like a 4 or 5 day chunk happen with like a weekend in there, like, oh my God, we fucking love doing those. Like,
yeah,
some of the fucking best times of our lives are like, just hopping in a smelly fucking van and like going out and playing music, even if it's just for a few days.
Yeah, definitely. Hell yeah, man.
It's cooler. I don't know if you guys notice this too, but like when you really have the time to do that and you want to do it, is like when you're, well, I mean, like you guys get out a lot more than like we do necessarily, but like for me, it was always when I was younger and I had less like income and less like resources. But now whenever we do that shit, I'm just like, oh, like I got a little more money in the bank. Like I'm not sweating life as much. And like, I don't know, we can like go stop and like at a restaurant in town. Like, where's a good place for a beer, and like just go fucking hang out.
Oh, I fucking love
I
doing
love
that
that
shit,
shit.
man. That's like half the fun of touring. It's just like, I'm like,
Yeah,
what the fuck
dude.
am I gonna fucking eat
Right.
today, dude? Like,
Yes.
where am I going, man? Yeah, I love doing that
Hell
shit.
yeah.
I ask like 10 people, like, what's the best spot by here? Like,
Yes.
yeah, I love doing that shit for sure. We're big on that stuff. We're big on all like when our last tour we did in October, we went to the diner that they shot the double R scenes for Twin Peaks at in Washington.
Oh yeah, dude.
We went to. I like
Fucking
made
cool.
everybody. I was like, we gotta fucking go here because we were like gonna basically drive through the town and like.
awesome.
I was like, we have to go. We have to fucking go. And we went. It was
We're
really
getting fucking coffee. We're getting fucking cherry pie.
yeah, we all did. I got fucking coffee and a cherry. It was really expensive too.
Was
but
it?
yeah, dude, I dropped like $30 that day.
Goddamn.
Yeah, and it was just like it was worth it though. Yeah, it's a total like tourist trap spot. I'm pretty
know,
sure.
Yeah, you know they're fucking. God damn it, dude.
But they-
that fucking that hotel too is like, it's like $1,000 a night.
Yeah,
I like looked it up and I was like, oh, maybe I'll check it out. And I was like, oh, nope.
Yeah,
not
no
at all.
fucking way,
I
yeah.
never in my life.
Yeah, it was still sick though, being in that diner and be like, oh
Awesome,
my god, yeah, like freaking the fuck
Oh, yeah.
out. Yeah. So I still love doing shit like that too. But yeah, I mean, I'm all about the food and the traveling because I mean, like a lot of people also think it's like, oh, you guys travel a lot. I'm like, dude, I'm looking at like Pilot gas stations every day.
Yeah.
And like,
Yeah, that's very true.
That glamorous.
Yeah, it's not as like
Dude.
what everybody thinks it's gonna be, but
Even on
And
like a bigger
fucking,
tour, like it's like, yeah, I stay on a bus and then I go
Yeah.
to the place and that's it. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah. I do love like the occasional times when you can get down. Usually there's only enough downtime to like, go to like, if we're out in Minneapolis, we always fucking hit up that Hammerheart Brewery because that's just like,
dude, I know the
Fucking
owner of that
incredible.
fucking. I don't know him very well, but I've met him a couple
oh,
times.
okay.
Really?
Austin.
Yeah.
Yeah. Austin's a
Dude,
man.
Everybody there is like so fucking nice. There's this fucking lady that works there that like we thought she was just seeing us as like normal customers. There was this one time that we came in and we were like, hey, like blah blah blah. She's like, you guys are from Chicago, right? We were just like, what? She's like, yeah, you guys are in here like every time you come through. Like, what? Like,
Oh, that they
I didn't know
remember
you
and shit.
fucking knew us.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and like it was awesome, dude. She's I can't remember her name, but she's great. But that's the cool thing too, is if you do have time to stop somewhere, like just knowing that there's like something regionally, even if it's like Ohio,
Mhm.
someone's got something
Mhm.
where you're like, what's the thing that we should check the fuck out? Like, we have great barbecue, or they make waffles that have cheese in them over there, or like,
Mhm.
you know, whatever. There's some fucking thing.
Yeah, give me that fucking
I-
cheesy waffle, brother, dude. I'll take that shit.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah,
I
I mean,
love it.
you have
It's
a good
so
point.
sick.
Yeah, that Hammer. I've never gotten to go to that Hammerheart Brewery. I really want to, but
Dude, you gotta go.
Yeah.
It's like strongest beers I've ever had in my life, and like
wow.
a lot of them are really dark, and they're dark in that way where like the head is like dark too, where it's like this black beer with like a brown head on
Yeah.
it. It's like fuck, and the flavors they get there are absolutely incredible. They're so good.
I met so the dude that opened that place, Austin, he's in a band, or his project, he has a musical project called Panopticon, and they're like a black metal
Oh, yeah,
type,
yeah.
They're a black metal type band,
Yes.
and I like, they had a very, very big impact on me when I discovered them, like back when I was in college and shit, and I was like hooked on his
Cool.
fucking music. And I actually got to meet him once because I have a buddy out here I haven't talked to in years, but he plays violin on the Panopticon records, or he used to. I don't know if he does it
Okay,
anymore on the
cool.
newer ones. But he was like, oh, dude, like Austin's going to come into town. Like we're going to hang out and grab beers in Oak Park, out of all places.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And he was just
Oh
like,
shit.
he was like, he's
Okay.
staying, and I lived in Oak Park at the time.
yeah.
So I was like, what the fuck? And he was like, yeah, you want to come out and hang? And I'm like, oh, yeah, dude. So like, I totally was just like punishing this dude like the
Awesome.
whole
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
And like he
Just
gave,
questions like out the ass.
he had just came back from like this he was living in Norway for like an X amount of year or X amount of time because he was working for a brewery out there
Oh, okay.
to kind of like I think learn the
Okay.
ropes and
Learn some-
shit.
yeah, yeah.
And he brought back this like insane Norwegian beer. He's like, have one. And I was just like, okay. Like, didn't know what the fuck I was drinking, but it was like so good.
That's
He was so
awesome.
cool. And I remember
That's awesome, man.
I remember specifically the sickest part, one of the sickest parts about him, he was like, check this out. And he like showed me his driver's license and his signature was his name in all runes. Like
What the
Norwegian runes. I was like, damn,
That's
dude,
awesome,
that's sick.
dude.
Yeah.
That's so sick.
Yeah,
That's
man.
great.
It was so fucking funny. But yeah,
That's so awesome.
I've seen that dude once since then. I think it was at a Gorguts show because
cool.
Colin Marston, the bass player, does like all the mixing and mastering for his records. And I think he was like
okay.
he came to Chicago to go to that show. And
Where is this brewery?
Kentucky, or is that where Hammer
Oh
Heart's
no,
at?
it's Hammerheart's out in Lino Lakes or Lino Lakes. I don't know how you say it. In right outside of Minneapolis.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's in Minnesota, but it's like it's fucking great, man. If you ever out by Minneapolis, it's like maybe a 15-minute drive from the downtown.
Shit.
Make sure you got like a DD because that shit is like strong. It's
Yeah.
like very strong beer. But they also, I mean, it's an awesome place to have it. Like, just like you were saying, if that guy like went out to Norway and learned like the Norwegian tradition of brewing beer, that's kind of what their whole thing is. Like you go there and there's like shields and swords and helmets on the wall, and like all the beer pools are like these wooden things with like runes burned into them, or like horns with shit carved into them, and they're fucking awesome. It's so funny too because all they really play there is like black metal.
Oh yeah.
So like there's all these like people like just Minnesota like white folks with like strollers and dogs and like, you know, their little like vests and pullovers and like fucking Patagonia shit, like sipping on these beers, but then in the background it's just like
Hell yeah, dude. Fuck
like
yeah.
but very quiet at like a reasonable volume.
Kind of like
It's
Kuma's.
so funny because well Kuma's is like loud as fuck.
Yeah, I guess
the last
so,
time
yeah.
I was in there, I couldn't hear who I was talking to. It was just like loud as shit. But like, it's just so funny because it's like it's black metal, but you can barely hear it. It's just way in the background. You just hear this like. It's just like it cracks me the fuck up, man. It's so funny. I love that place. It's so great.
Yeah. Yeah, I gotta fucking
It's
check it out.
awesome.
That's one of those places I've been meaning to get to. I've only been in Minneapolis once. We only played there one time, and we played. I forget what the Whiskey Junction, I want to say it was called. And
I think I've heard of it, but we've never been there.
it's like a big ass room, but they had like no air conditioning in there, and like we were playing there on a dude. That was a show where I thought we were all gonna die of like heat exhaustion. It was so fucking hot.
Yeah.
Like Adrian looked like he was gonna pass out. Like he looked at me and I haven't seen him sweat like that. I don't think ever in my entire life. Like everybody was just dripping.
God.
Oh yeah.
And it was just like, oh fuck, yeah. It
It's always
sucked.
one of those. Yeah.
Yeah, but nice warm hot Minneapolis night.
We had one of those shows at the fucking Beat Kitchen in the middle of a polar vortex, and it was just
fuck.
like those get fucking cold as shit, but like obviously they had the radiators on, and like, you know, we just play like absolute psychopaths because like this is what we like to do. And like I just remember I was like, I need air, and like I just stumbled outside with no shirt on,
Oh my
like
god.
as I was, and I just had this gigantic fucking swirling cloud of steam roiling off of me for like a minute and a half, and like it was like, you know, 40 below, but I didn't get cold for like several minutes because they just had the heat fucking blasting in that fucking venue. Yeah, and I get like, you know, most of the places that we're gonna play are gonna be like, you know, basements or like clubs where they, you know, don't have AC or it's like not good enough. So, you know, no stranger to just sweat your fucking balls off. But those moments where you're just like, I don't know if we could play this song that fast because like I'm gonna fucking pass the fuck out. Like I don't know if I got it.
Oh
Start losing words and not singing like all the lines and shit because you're just like, just like starting to feel like you're gonna fucking lose it.
Yeah. Oh, I
Like
know.
like there's a hand. Like there's a hand inside of you just like choking you out.
Yeah, dude. I remember, dude, playing those blast beats and it's just like, not feeling this
Not
one
fun.
tonight. Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah, you play so fast too. Like there's so much shit you got to do. Like, I can't
Yeah.
even imagine. Like, there's got to be so many times where you're just so uncomfortable.
Oh yeah, man. Even in a like controlled
it's
room,
nice,
the
right?
music's too fucking hard to play. But like, yeah, when it gets too hot, it's just like,
Yeah.
fuck, man, this is like insane. But yeah,
You just
it's-
gotta accept it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I get if when you're on tour, I think it's different because you play all the time and like you're already kind of your body's kind of warmed up to
Right,
all of it,
yeah.
and you're used to playing and like.
Used to being gross. you know?
Yeah, so but yeah, that was
Hell
definitely rough. And then our fucking van shot out. The engine fucked up that day, and we had to come home for a day and then rent a van to finish out the rest of that tour.
Oh
Yeah,
man, those are the worst moments where you're like, well, what do we do? Like,
Yeah.
how do we solve this absolute turd that God just handed us?
Yeah, it sucks.
Fuck.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know, but that's the way it goes. Unfortunately,
Yeah,
sometimes,
dude.
you know, yeah,
That's
man.
like we always feel so lucky because Greg is like a mechanic. So
Oh,
if we ever
fuck
have
yeah.
van trouble, like he knows exactly how to fix it. The only trouble that we ever run into is like he doesn't always like have like tools. So we'll
Okay.
have to like go to a mechanic and then he'll have to like convince them to let him use their shit. And sometimes they've just been like, nah, man. So we gotta like go to a fucking Walmart or whatever and get like some obscure thing to
Get that
start
AutoZone
working on
shit,
the
man. Has that ever worked?
van.
Has he ever been
Yeah.
like, yo, let me borrow your carburetor, dude?
No, well, you're not gonna.
Well, I don't know car parts, but
Jesus.
yeah, I don't know anything about cars. Oh my God.
Has that has that worked though for you guys? Like, have you gone to a mechanic and Greg's like, yo, let me borrow this, and they're like, yeah, man.
We have and he has. I want to say that's happened a couple of times, but we've definitely gone places where they're like, no, like
Yeah.
insurance wouldn't let us do that.
Right.
So like, sorry, dude.
Mhm.
Or just a total stranger showing up out of nowhere. I'm sure they're just like, go
Yeah.
fuck yourself. But we've been in some fucking pickles, man. Like just taking some of these beat ass old vans, like
Yeah,
from the 80s, like out on the road for that long. It's like,
yeah, you're
I don't
risking
know,
it, man.
but, like,
yeah,
yeah. But like, we've always got Greg in our back pocket. Like he always,
that's great,
Dude,
man.
he's worth his weight in fucking gold for many reasons. Like he's just a fucking wonderful guy, but like he's an amazing mechanic. Like he's a fucking solid dude. He's just like wonderful. But then like the one thing that always like he's gotten so much better about it. But when I joined the band, he wouldn't stop for fucking anything. So like you're pissing in bottles, you're eating dinner at a
yeah.
fucking gas station. Doesn't matter. Like pass a Wendy's, like, yo, Greg, like I'll buy you fucking dinner. Like, can we stop? Like, no,
No, gotta
Wow.
get there.
fuck no. Like he wouldn't even act like he heard it. He just fucking wouldn't answer and just drive right on past.
Damn,
Man on a
Yeah,
mission.
it was crazy. He
That is
fucking
wild.
hated stopping. I'll never forget the time that I got him to stop. I was like, yo, Greg, I'm going to fucking die if we do not get, like, I'm not going to be able to play the show because I'm like hurting so bad for food. And then he stopped. And I was like, dude, I'll pay for you. He's like, no, I got it. And he like paid for me. And Vince was like, I don't know what the fuck just happened. Like, I've never seen anybody get Greg to pull over. Like, I don't know what the fuck is going on right
Does he
now.
do a lot of does he do a lot of the driving when you guys go out?
All of it, 100% of it. Like
Whoa.
he hates being in the passenger seat. The few times I've ever seen him not drive is because he's fucking exhausted and he needs sleep. But he'll grab like 2-4 hours of sleep and then hop back behind the wheel. It's crazy because like he'll complain and we'll be like, any of us will jump in, and he's like,
Right.
nah. But then like give him another half hour, and he's like, dude, I'm gonna fucking pass out, man. I'm dying. And we're like, Greg,
Let any of us drive.
let one of us do it. And he's just like, no, I got. And we're just like, what are you? Come on.
Yeah.
He's just so particular. He's like, I will drive until I'm dead, and we will not stop.
Dude, that's so funny, man, because it's like in my band, we play the game of like, nobody wants to fucking drive.
Oh, sure, yeah.
So it's like
Yeah.
always just kind of, well, sometimes some of the guys will be like, I want to do it today. Sometimes I'm even like that where I'm like, I'm fucking doing it. And then you get into a groove and you're like, man, I want to keep going. But like, yeah, sometimes it's just kind of
And then
like
somebody pipes
I
up
like,
from the back.
I'll be driving
I need
for
to
like,
stop.
I'll be driving.
Damn it.
No, I don't care. You know what? We're always like bitches about stopping. We always fucking stop.
Really?
Except for Alex when he has to pee. He just pees in a bottle, but that's because he's got
But he's
bladder.
not a human.
Yeah, he's got
He's an
bladder
animal.
things going on. But you know.
Oh, fuck, that's a bummer.
No, it's not bad. It's just like he's got some weird prostate shit that he won't get checked out. He just has to pee all the time. But
Oh, yeah, he should 100% go get that checked out.
yeah, you know, we've all
How,
tried.
I mean, at a certain point, like, yeah, you just, there's nothing you can say to somebody when they're not going to go fucking get something checked out.
Yeah. I mean, he's okay. He just pees a lot. He's a frequent peer. So like, but he loves peeing in the van. So he's all about it. So we just he gets some bottles and like, you know, we stop for like gas and food. Like we always stop if somebody's like, or we try to stop at a place that like we could get a lot of that shit done in one go.
Like one stop shop.
But yeah, like, I don't know. We usually plan out our drive so we can stop, but that's fucking, yeah. I definitely have, there's been moments where like I'll be driving for like 6 hours and I'm just like, all right, who wants to go next? And nobody says anything.
Yeah, everybody's real
I'm just
quiet.
like, come on, guys. Like, fuck, dude.
Yeah, and they all know it's been 6 hours.
Yeah,
like,
they know.
They're well aware.
They know how long we've all been in this. Nobody ain't going anywhere outside of this fucking van. Like, Adrian doesn't have a license, so he can't drive.
Oh,
a valid
no
license.
shit. Wow.
Yeah, he doesn't have a valid. Oh, he might have a valid one now. Actually, I don't know.
Oh, really?
I can't remember if he does or not. He might now, but yeah, for like the majority of our longer tours, he is not. So it's like. And then Max like works while we're on the road. Like he puts his phone as a hotspot, so he'll be working. And I'm just like, God damn it. Jace is drunk in the morning still from the night before. And I'm just like, fuck, man. Like, guess I'm driving. Yeah. No, me and Alex, like, we both do a lot. Yeah, but Jace and Max drive a lot. Everybody drives, like, except Adrian. But sometimes we'll even have him drive, even though it's sketchy as fuck. But like, sometimes he's like, I'm going to do it. And we're like, all right. Like,
yeah,
he's usually good about it. But yeah, it's funny because I hear about a lot of it. Like in Immortal Bird, John, he does like all their driving.
Yeah.
That's what
like
Nate says.
His van. So
yeah, true. Which I guess I get, but this is technically.
I don't.
Or are you gonna say?
I don't personally understand that. Like fucking, that's so not me. But like,
yeah,
I know people like that. My dad's that way. Like he just hates being in any passenger seat. It like makes him like physically uncomfortable.
Really?
Yeah, it's the lack of control. I mean, you know,
you think that's what
absolutely
it is?
Yeah, I mean that's how it is for me. Like, because I like to drive, and something is waiting is the first band I've been in where like somebody else is like, I'm doing all the driving. I'm like, all right.
You've done all the driving every show I've ever been to with you.
Yeah,
you've always done all the driving.
And, but yeah, with something is waiting, like Gabe loves to drive, and it's also his van that we use too. Okay. And so he's all gung ho about it, which is funny. And I'm like, all right, fuck it. Like, and now like I'm comfortable with it. Like I've done enough tours now where like I just can't. I'm not the driver.
That's sick though.
And so like I got really used to it, and I'm like, oh, this is kind of cool to like.
I fucking love not driving, dude. I love. I still
really like driving a lot.
Really?
Yeah.
Sometimes I do.
I can only stare at my fucking phone for so long when I'm on the road.
Oh yeah,
yeah, dude. It gets boring pretty fast.
We didn't do it the last time we went out. We only did it one time, but we played D&D in the van, and it was pretty sick.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I think Adam told us about that on one of the episodes he came on the show.
Oh fuck yeah, hell yeah, dude! It was sick, man. It was like a time warp. Like the time fucking flew by. It was great.
That's awesome.
It was cool because like we didn't even finish the fucking adventure that Vince had planned, and like it took up like 2 gigantic drives. It was so sick. It was cool.
That is awesome to do that like on the road and shit. You see, we never like either we'll have group conversations or we don't talk to, and none of us talk for hours.
Yeah. We'll get that way too. That's like I fucking love dude. There's just something real special about like that group of dudes that we have in Thieves. Like gets along in a very particular way that's like so fucking great. And like I know that like out of the group, like I am the stand-up comedian, but I personally think I'm like the least funny one out of those dudes.
Oh yeah.
So it's like it's such a fucking blast. Like anytime we get together and like going on those long drives is like so cool, man. Cause like we can talk about shit forever. And like when the conversation peters out, like Vince's got this like gigantic Spotify list of music that he's just hit the like button on. It's like his liked list or whatever. So it's like 400 or 800 songs or whatever. And it's just the most insane mix of genres. It's like the most eclectic shit I've ever heard. It's like very like bad, like Jewish Halloween music where it's like,
whoa,
just like a MIDI track of like some sort of Hanukkah song with people making like shitty sound effects on like a totally blown out computer microphone.
Huh.
Like everything from that to like Thai like pop from the 60s, and then a bunch of like fucking metal, and like it's just like all sorts of genres of music. It goes like all over the place. It's truly insane. And it's so awesome to like go on long car trips, because he'll just throw that on and we're just like, what the fuck is this? And then he'll like spend a little bit of time talking about whatever it is. It's like, dude, this is fucking sick. It's like having Henry Rollins do his radio show in the car where you're just like, this is made by Tibetan monks? Like, what the fuck? He's like, yeah, it's like, he'll tell us about it.
Hell
it's
yeah.
fucking cool, man. I love it.
Yeah,
It's
that
great.
is awesome. That is fuck, dude. I wish we had more shit like that, because like everybody drives and like we hear the same I hear the same records like all the time, and I'm like,
Oh, yeah, you
Here we
can't.
go.
I can't hear Injustice for All for like the 15th time on one tour. It's just like, oh my god, guys, like. But I get it. Like they like it.
Throw like a podcast on, some kind of crazy, like true crime shit where everyone's like, what's going to happen
Yeah.
next? Like
Dude,
that can be fun to listen to.
I started doing shit like that. I started playing. Have you ever like looked up any of those creepypasta stories before on the internet?
Oh,
Or it's just like
there's that radio show, or it's like a podcast. It's called No Sleep or Don't Sleep or something like that.
Uh huh.
Have you heard of that one?
Yeah, I have. I think it's called No
It's
Sleep.
pretty much all that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty much just like stuff from the internet or Reddit or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll put on like stuff like that, and then everybody gets into it. Like especially when we gotta do those like rural ass drives, and it's like pitch black out. It's like, oh, let's get through.
Dude.
Yeah.
And then you're just seeing creepy cornfields forever,
Yeah,
man.
dude,
Like,
and some weird lights in the distance, and it's like, oh my god. Yeah, I love
Yeah.
that shit. I love doing that, and that'll be fun. Or I'll throw on a podcast sometimes during the day and shit, just to like have fun when everybody's like not talking, and
Right.
you know, it's our rule
yeah.
of thumb is usually whoever is driving has control of like
Oh, it's not
what we're listening to.
okay.
person sitting shotgun.
No,
They don't DJ.
no, fuck them.
We've got shotgun DJ, but then like I think if Greg ever wants to like listen to something, or if he starts getting tired, we're like, hey, is there something that like you fucking want to listen to right now? He has like veto power.
Right.
We're also
yeah.
just like, you're doing
That's
so much
fair.
work right now. Like whatever we can do to fucking make you happy right now, man.
What usually is that? What usually makes him happy?
Greg fucking loves like pop. Like he's also real big on like specific types of like pop punk or like punk. He
Really?
yeah, his brother-in-law is in the Broke Downs. Like, dude, if you throw on that, like, I mean, anything from the Broke Downs is gonna get him hyped. But like, you throw on like that Apocalypse Seaside Heights song, like everybody, like, we're all fucking psyched on that song. But like,
Is that a pop punk
that
band?
gets him all pumped up. His brother-in-law, is in oh my god, I literally just said the name of the band, and I
Yeah, what are the broken something?
Broke Downs. Yeah,
The Broke
Jesus
Downs?
Christ, my brain just dumped that
The
out.
Broke Downs?
Yeah, Broke Downs.
And they're a
Dude, they're
pop
fucking
punk band?
awesome. They're cool. Yeah, they're from like I want to say they all kind of live in like the Lake County area, maybe.
Oh, okay.
They've been around forever. They're fucking rule. They sound awesome. If you like, they're not exactly like Hot Water Music, some crossover there. If you like that kind of like beefy voice, like anthem-y type shit, it's like that.
Okay.
They're really fucking good. They're really good. He also just loves like pop, like Miley Cyrus type shit, like
Whoa,
like
really?
weird pop hits, like
That's
yeah,
funny.
like Vince knows it a little better, but like Greg like brought an iPad or an iPod with like one of those old ones
Hell
and
yeah.
had all this shit on it, and Vince just started like playing DJ on his iPad or iPod, and like it was fucking funny, man. The stuff that he found in there was like super 12-year-old girl type shit.
That's
We were all
sick,
just
dude.
cracking up.
That's
Because
awesome,
like
man.
Greg is so funny because he's such a funny, like warm dude, but like, and he's like, it's not like hard to get him laughing or anything like that, but he does just have this like kind of crusty exterior that's just very like fuck you. So like,
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
when you see
You
him
kinda
live,
gotta-
he looks utterly terrifying.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Like,
dude, he just looks so
He's
mad
so
all the
intimidating.
time.
Yeah,
live,
I'm like, that's
Yeah.
the only dude in your band
Yes.
I don't really know that well because I'm
Yeah.
afraid to talk to him.
I've never really talked to Greg much.
he definitely puts off like a don't fucking talk to me. But if he's a fucking teddy bear. He's such a goofball. Like Greg gets mad like anybody gets mad. Well, he gets mad more than most people get mad. But like he's got such a fucking golden heart, man. He's got a golden heart encased in a layer of fucking salt and nails. He's such a great dude. I love Greg to fucking the ends of the earth, man. He's such a great dude.
That sweetie likes pop music, man.
He does, dude. He likes I was cracking up. I was really surprised at some of the stuff that was on that iPod. It was really cracking me up. He's got a real soft spot for like AFI.
Okay.
He also just likes music where it sounds nuts. Like before their singer got outed for like sexually assaulting a bunch of people, what's that band where the record covers is a knife? Young and in the Way. He liked them a lot.
Yeah.
And anything that just sounds like super grim and like aggressive, he's real into.
Sweet.
He's also really into like Thrice and The National. Him and his wife are really into The National. Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
And that's Greg's musical taste.
Do you ever listen to any pop music?
But yeah. I guess I have like a soft spot for like 90s pop, maybe.
Okay.
Not like NSYNC, but like a lot of the pop rock that came out of there. Like if I hear like Hootie and the Blowfish or whoever, it's not gonna bum me out. I could be into that. I never got into Dave Matthews, but like probably a lot of people that Dave Matthews Band would have like toured with, or like like Blur or But even like I say that, but I'm like, if you like name something that's not song 2, I'd be like, I don't know.
Yeah,
I just like that song a lot. I did, like just like 90s hits. I guess I have like a huge soft spot for like Flagpole Sitta. That song that they had was fucking awesome.
Okay,
or that the Flagpole Sitta is the name of the song.
Yeah,
fucking Presidents of the
Harvey.
Or no, those are the Peaches guys.
Yeah, is it something Harvey?
Yeah, Harvey Danger.
Harvey Danger. That's it. That's
you nailed it. You nailed it.
Yeah. I don't know. Do you like the Verve Pipe?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
The first band that I was in, Turn for the Worst, we played like some school function and we covered
the Freshman.
Freshman.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
That's sick.
Yeah, we
dude.
covered Freshman.
That song's sick.
Yeah. For the laugh. Wait, that song's definitely about him and a young lady having a baby out of wedlock and like killing it, right?
No, I think they're having an abortion.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, right. I mean, yeah, like that's definitely about an abortion, right?
Pretty sure, yeah.
Because like I didn't know that, and I heard it, and I was like, oh, this is some kind of like sad "She Left Me" song, and then I like read the lyrics, and I was like, oh my god, like what the fuck?
Yeah, they probably made some money on that song. That was on the radio and shit.
It's hugely popular.
Yeah,
man.
Dude. Yeah, and I'm like. I'm like 16 trying to fucking belt with pipes like that. Like, so bad, dude. Like I could totally imitate that guy now, but like, oh god, at the time, like I'm sure we built in the room was just like, what the fuck is this kid trying to do?
You were just rocking out, man.
Yeah,
dude. So when
halfway through fucking puberty, trying to sound like a guy who's like living on coffee and cigarettes.
Yeah, definitely, kind of hard to do, but. That's what was cool, man.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it was great.
I remember I was talking to my buddy the other day, and I told him that you were coming on the podcast. He's like, "Oh, that guy's fucking an awesome fucking vocalist." He's like, I remember,
cool,
he
man.
was like, I remember when Rudy was in Beneath the Glass, and I'm like, hell yeah, dude. And it's my buddy. His name's Bob. He used to play in a band called I Killed Everyone. And they were from I don't know if you remember them or not, but I don't know if they were from like the Schaumburg, Hoffman Estates, Palatine area.
Sure, totally. That's name is super familiar.
Yeah, they played a lot of shows like years ago, probably when Beneath the Glass was doing it. I'm assuming, like,
hell yeah.
What years,
dude? Do
you remember what year that was? Like what years?
That's a good question. I want to say that Turn for the Worst was like pretty much all of high school. So probably like 2001 to 2005 ish.
Okay.
And then I want to say that Beneath the Glass was maybe like maybe like sometime in 06, 07.
Okay.
And then I want to say In Arms was like towards the end of college for me. So it was probably like 2008 or 9. And then Thieves 2010 till now, 2020. That's fucking crazy, man.
That is crazy, dude.
Yeah. And like that band has like changed so much. All those guys have calmed down so much. Like with having like Brian and Adam on here, like you guys have heard a couple of tales about like people fighting or just like doing tons of coke or like drinking in like parking lots and shit. I was always like the goody two shoes that like I didn't really drink until I was 21, and like
Me either.
I never touched like fucking. Oh no shit, that's cool, man.
I never drank until I was 21.
I just like I never wanted like the pressure of like fucking up that bad where I could like get arrested and shit. So I was just like,
me either, man.
I'm good. Like, yeah, people would be like, I thought you were straight edge. I'm like, no, I just didn't.
It was the same thing with me, dude. I never smoked weed or drank. I didn't start really smoking weed till like a year ago. And then like, I still barely ever drink. Like it's very rare. I'll have like a couple of drinks if I'm going out, but even then it's not like my forte.
Dude, I fucking love drinking. I'm like, I'm so into fucking booze. I love it.
Yeah.
I don't like being drunk, but oh my God, there's just so many like beers and spirits and fucking cocktails that are just like so delicious. I goddamn like, oh my God, I love booze.
Hell yeah, yeah. I mean, if you seem to approach it in like a tasteful manner,
right.
You know, like you're drinking it for the enjoyment of the drinking of it, not just based on the feeling of it, you know?
Absolutely. I've never really drank to get drunk. I did like one time in college and I regretted it so much.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, I never drank that much before I was 21, and then I never really touched drugs. So it was crazy to be around like the dudes in Thieves, and like when I joined the band, it was very much at a time when they're like, we used to do like harders, but like we're done with that as a group. And like I was always just like, fuck. But they were like smoking shitloads of weed, and that was like back when it was still like illegal. So and I was just always like, but like
be careful.
I mean,
yeah.
It's fucking harmless. Like it didn't matter. But like, yeah, that was like, I was always like the goody two shoes or like the kid that wasn't involved in that. But like, I had so many friends that were just getting like so fucked up.
Yeah.
And that was the straight edge thing. I always thought it was like corny as fuck, but like it made sense to me because you would see kids just like fucking ruin their lives. And it was like, you know, to embrace the opposite of that made a lot of sense. It just, the way I saw people do it was always silly. Like, I'm never drinking ever because it's going to destroy your life. And then I'd like, you know, see my dad just like crack her in the basement after mowing the lawn and just being like, ah. And I'm like, God, see, that looks great. Like, that looks awesome. I can't wait to have a beer with my dad.
Yeah, exactly. You know, I when I was in high school, I was living in Oak Park at the time. So I went to OPRF high school, and which was like a big ass fucking like, there was a big party scene in the school, and it was a lot of like, I mean, Oak Park is a very wealthy fucking suburb. So it was a lot of like, it was a lot of rich white kids that like, it would just get trashed and do stupid shit. And like, you know, my parents are not wealthy people. We never really were. I always felt like I was like the poor kid hanging out with like a lot of my friends. And it was just kind of like, I don't know. I never really wanted to drink because I was like, fuck, man, if I get like, so many kids got into like some serious ass
but their
shit.
folks just paid.
And it's just like they had parents that they could fall back on. And like, I knew my parents, you know, would take care of me and shit, but I was just kind of like,
you don't want to put them in that position.
Exactly. It's like, I don't want to risk it, you know? And I would say that to people. I'd be like, guys, like, my dad doesn't have fucking $3,000 to bail me out because like I drove my car into a pole or some shit, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and it's just like, I don't know.
That's like,
yeah.
Dude, I grew up with like a lot of friends in Barrington, and some of the fucking kids that came out of like Barrington specifically, I know they're like super wealthy suburb. That's like where South Barrington was like where like Bam Margera was looking at buying a house and shit like that.
Really?
So it's like, yeah, just super, super rich. And like same deal, dude. Like kids like in high school would be doing fucking like coke and like fucking each other and like having pregnancy scares. And I'm just like, Jesus Christ. Like I'm just playing like Warcraft 2 on my computer. It's just like, I'm like a fucking little nerd playing D&D with my friends. Like, oh, what did you do this weekend? Like, oh yeah, we did some Molly and I like fucked all these girls. Like,
Yeah, whoa. Okay.
Jesus Christ. Like,
Yeah.
wow. All right. Like, yeah, my buddy like got into a car accident on the way home. Like, fuck. I'm like, is he okay? Like, yeah. I just like, and
Yeah.
same shit. Like, parents bailing them out. Like, just nuts. And that's where they got like the money for any of those drugs to begin with. There's
Oh,
like,
absolutely. Yeah, their parents.
I just can't even fucking imagine living that way. It was so weird.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that shit like scared me, man. It freaked me out. I was just like, fuck.
Dude, it's still scary. Like there's a lot of people that I knew from high school that would do shit like that, and now they're all just like, they're a little chilled out, but they're all like alcoholics that like don't have like shit figured out, because it's kind of like they never, maybe they never grew up from it, or grew out of it or some shit like that. So yeah. I feel like I'm not a fucking perfect person by any means. I just always feel super fucking lucky that I had like the family that I had, and I had like the fucking path I had. Cause like you just watch some people like, through a fault of their own or some sort of like unfortunate circumstance or the family that they happen to have. It's like some people are just dealt such a fucking rough hand, man. Like, oh my God. I'm just always like, like, thank goodness, like knock on wood that I had the setup that I did. Cause like, I'm not perfect, but like, I'm doing okay. Just like, for sure. Absolutely.
Especially high school. Like you see the passage of time and like, you see that like 10-year reunion hit or whatever. And it's just like, some people are like, oh boy.
Yeah. Yeah, dude.
Fucking glad that's not me.
My 10 year is this year, and I'm just debating on not going, but
yeah.
Did you go to yours?
Mine was fucking, no. Mine was like really awkward too. The people that planned it like didn't really put any effort into it. So like, I think most people will sometimes like rent a space out or have some kind of activity that everybody does. And they just went to like a football game at the high school. And then I think maybe went to one bar, and that might've been it. And some people went and they said it was fun, but I was just like, I don't need to like try and go and show off. Like,
right.
Yeah.
This is weird. Cause someone's just like, my girlfriend's got big tits and I got $5 million in the bank.
Right. Yeah.
Like, I'm the shit now. It's just like,
and then they're like, well, you're still playing in a band?
Oh,
you're still playing music?
Yeah. 100%. Yeah.
Can't wait for that.
Or like,
yeah.
Right. Or God forbid, like someone who like knows what I'm up to is like, oh, he's a stand-up comedian now. Like, oh, are you on SNL? Like, have you been on Netflix?
Oh, God.
Like, go fuck you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't need any of that in my life.
Yeah, I hear you, man.
I don't need anybody evaluating how well I'm achieving my goals.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just like, I don't know. It's kind of, I feel like I would almost have like a PTSD thing if I went to fucking high school reunion. Like I would just run.
Like you would regress.
Yeah, I would regress and maybe have a panic attack and just be like, oh, I can't be here. Like,
yeah, dude. Oh my God. I have the most vivid, like, memories of like just like the raw sexual tension and like just not knowing what to do about it. Not that I'm like, some kind of fucking player now. Like I have no game still, but like I have more than I did then. Like, and just like fucking being in class and like, oh, like that girl's tits are out, and just being like, wait, that's a conscious choice. Wait, she wanted her tits to be like, she wanted to wear revealing clothing, and then my brain is just like, oh, like,
yeah, man,
shutting down. And just like whenever I think back to high school, I just remember just being so fucking mercilessly horny all the fucking time.
Yeah,
it's like not knowing how to deal with it, man.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's fucking weird, and nobody really talks about shit like that a lot. I feel like I don't hear a lot of people.
Yeah,
talk
maybe
about
not.
It. Yeah, no, I'm saying I don't know. I don't think it's a negative point to bring up. It's like, it's definitely
almost a universal thing.
Everyone was the fucking feeling the exact same shit. It was all like fear, panic, boredom, and being extremely horny. That's like the whole thing.
Yeah, being a teenager.
That's like all high school.
Yeah, pretty much, man. Yeah.
Stress, I guess. That's like when you first learn how to get stressed out.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Fuck.
It's high school.
Yeah. 20-page paper. Just like, oh my God.
Yeah, holy
but
shit.
Then like Yeah, when you get into the working world, it's like, oh, now I know why they were having us write 20-page papers to prep us for working fucking, overtime or whatever, like working 12-hour days. Like you're going to have to do that every once in a while.
Oh, yeah.
Like shit like that.
Absolutely.
It's just like, fuck. Yeah. I'm just so glad all that's fucking done with. College too.
Yeah.
My whole life, I feel like I just wanted to be on my own and like be able to make my own decisions. I couldn't wait to be an adult.
Yeah. Yeah, it's cool being an adult, and like having, especially that sense where it's like you first start to fucking realize you could just do whatever the fuck
do whatever you want. Yeah.
And it's just like, whoa. Yeah. 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 It's awesome.
And even just like, oh, it's nighttime. I live in a major city, so the store is open. I can go get ice cream at 1 a.m. and eat it while watching a movie and go to bed at 3. I can do that.
You can
if I want to.
Yeah.
No one's going to fucking tell me I'm a lazy piece of shit.
Exactly.
I'm going to say it, and then other people will laugh.
Yeah.
That's funny.
That's true. And you can even do it on a work night. You could do it on a school night. You could do it any night you fucking want, man.
You do it any fucking time. Yeah. It's the best.
Yeah, it's wild, dude. I wish somebody would say that when you're like, if I ever have a kid, I'm going to be like, dude, it's going to be like when you grow up, it's going to be fucking sick, dude. Like, some shit will suck, but like your freedom is going to be the shit. Like,
but in the meantime, don't you fucking do anything.
Yeah.
This house.
Yeah, but now your life's going to suck. Yeah.
And that's the way that you could honestly, like, maybe it's like not the best move, but you could totally put it to a kid that way. Like, don't make any dumb permanent decisions because you're going to fuck up your access to all sick freedom. If you have a kid, get a tattoo that prevents you from getting a good job, fuck yourself up in a car accident, fuck up your legal record. Like, if you do enough shit like that, you're going to fuck up your ability to just spend all day masturbating and playing video games. Don't you want to be able to do that?
My fucking senior year of high school, there was a group of kids that pulled like an Amazon scam where they were like stealing people's credit cards, like, and then like ordering packages and delivering them to other houses and picking them up. Yeah, they got like, I mean, it's like that's criminal record shit before you're out of high school.
It's a felony charge.
Yeah, they did receive felony charges. It was insane.
Fraud and
it's fucking wild, and it's just like, well, that fucking sucks, and like,
have fun.
That destroys your life for a little bit.
Oh yeah, it definitely does, and it's just like, it's like, well, glad that wasn't me. Like, and it's just like, fuck, I wasn't even thinking about that. Like, I was just trying to play dumb music with my friends. Like, shit.
Yeah, right. The most rambunctious we got was like, well, in high school, we thought it was really funny to like go get couches and like put them in people's driveways so they couldn't get out.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And like, that was pretty funny because like, we'd be like, oh, like we have our drummer in that first band Turn for the Worst. His name is Jason. So we'd be like, oh, we know Jason's got like work early. So let's go and put a fucking couch in front of his car. So he's got to move it. So he'd like come out to his fucking car. Then there'd be a couch like literally behind it. And he'd be like, what the fuck? And he'd have to move his couch. But then like, we did that to enough people where like it happened to their dad, where like their dad couldn't move the car to like go to his like adult job, where it was like, oh, we fucked up. Like, we got to stop that.
Yeah.
But then in college, we got into a rash of like, not quite like breaking and entering, but we would like climb the roofs of like local businesses around like a lot. And that was pretty extreme. That was pretty crazy.
You just climbed them? Like, that was it?
Yeah. And that was it. It was just climb them. One time there was a building that we came to where there was like this weird, we were on the roof and we noticed there was like a courtyard, but it was like an elevated courtyard. It wasn't like down on ground level. Uh-huh. So we lowered ourselves down into the courtyard to just kind of check out the plants and shit at nighttime. And then the door that was leading out to the courtyard was open. So we like went and checked it out, and then we like left. But on our way out, we didn't know we had that somewhere in the building we had tripped a silent alarm.
Oh shit.
So we saw cops coming when we were on the roof getting ready to leave, and they were coming to, I think, the back of the place, because if someone's breaking onto a roof, they're going to go to the back. So the cops were smart. So we went off the side or the front or something of this building, and the cop came up with his flashlight, and we see the flashlight like kind of zooming around, like looking for people. And the guys that I was with were like, okay, when we turn this corner, run as fast as you can and like run in separate directions and meet back at like whatever point, like whatever place. So we see this flashlight like zoom over to us, and it like illuminated us from the back, and we heard the fucking cop like, hey, and we fucking just took off running. And then the dude was running after us, but we were like in college and we were like working out a bunch. So we were just like, we just fucking sprinted. And then like, he had no chance of catching us, dude. And it was crazy though, because like for a long stretch of time, we were like huffing and puffing and running as fast as we fucking could. And we looked back over our shoulders and we saw that light, that flashlight in the night, just like waving up and down, because the dude was like sprinting after us. And like, I'm so glad we didn't get caught, because like we didn't do anything at all, but like, I'm pretty sure that you can get some pretty solid jail time if you're like over 18 and you're like,
I mean, that's trespassing.
Breaking into somewhere, you know, it's like, but we were climbing all sorts of buildings. And the shittiest part was like, we didn't think about it, but if any of them were like schools or churches, like the fine gets bumped up. So if we had gotten caught like climbing the roof of like an elementary school or like a church or something like that, like it could have gone from like a not serious charge to like something more serious, because they treat it more seriously for whatever reason. But I had a buddy that we were doing that in our hometown, so it's not like it wasn't as like crazy. Like the buildings weren't as tall, but I have a buddy in college who he got caught climbing like a 12-story building, like, or probably like more like 20. It was like a big fucking building, and someone called the cops. They reported a cat burglar, and the cops came out on the roof and caught him. And they searched his bag, because they straight up thought that him and the other guy that were doing it were cat burglars, but they didn't have any like thief equipment with them. So they just got charged with breaking and entering. But they were like, I think they almost got charged with like reckless endangerment, because there were parts of the building where like if they had slipped, they would have 100% died. Which we got into a couple of situations like that. Like we like climbed up a rope one time, and like, I don't know if you guys have ever done like pull-ups to the point where your arms give out.
I'm too fat for that, but
okay. Well, like, so like there's a certain point where your muscles just can't do anymore. So they just like stop midway. Even if you're doing like push-ups or whatever, they just stop, and you're like, oh, fuck it. And they just start shaking because they won't do whatever.
Oh, yeah. I've done that lifting weights and shit. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Because all the lactic acid buildup. So I'm climbing this rope, and I get up to the roof of this building, and my arms lock up. And I'm like, I can't get up. And my buddy's like, pull yourself up. I'm like, I can't. He's like, just pull yourself up. You're here. And I was like, I can't do it. I'm going to fall. And he's like, what? He's like, I'm going to fall. And he's like, fuck. So he like, I'm literally actively almost letting go. Like my hands are slipping down the rope, and I'm starting to fall. And he like fucking grabbed my shirt and then grabbed my shorts and pulled me over the roof and saved my fucking life. Because I would have 100% like gotten paralyzed or broken my legs or died.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
Yeah. He fucking saved my life. I mean, it was my dumb fucking fault that I got into that position in the first place. But dude, he fucking saved my life, man. It was crazy.
Yeah, that is fucking scary, man. Shit.
It was nuts. We were like doing all this working out in like playgrounds, and all of it was like we would like climb monkey bars like back and forth a bunch of times, and like all of it was like body relative, because we were like practicing and building up muscle to be able to like climb better in the middle of the night. It was so weird.
Yeah.
I don't know why we wanted to climb these buildings. Like it was kind of fun as fuck, like finding like a tall ass building, climbing it, knowing that no one was in the building, and then, you know, it's like 3:00 in the morning, so you don't get caught, and just seeing all around yourself, like just this city, like everybody's asleep. It's kind of cool, man. It was neat.
That is cool. Where were you mainly doing this? Like in Palatine area, or?
Yeah, around Palatine, mostly like Palatine buildings. Mm-hmm. And like I don't know. Like, probably the statute of limitations is up. It's been like quite a while. And I don't think any like
I think you're
cop,
all right.
like we didn't take, we never like stole anything.
Yeah.
So like, no cop is like looking for us or anything like that. But I'm sure we could have gotten in serious trouble if we
Some
got
cold
caught.
case out there. They're looking for you.
Yeah, it's like
We
there was
found
a
him,
rash
guys.
of
We finally
young
found them.
men climbing buildings. Yeah.
Someone pauses
That was
this
40
episode of the
years, yeah.
podcast and it zooms out. They're like, we fucking got him.
Got him.
Yeah.
This like grainy ass like fucking like 2010 footage of like these fucking college kids climbing buildings for no reason.
Yeah, man, that cop that was
It was
shaking the
fun.
fucking flashlight running after you guys. He's fucking.
Oh my god, I'm so glad we didn't get caught.
yeah.
Because I'm sure they would have charged us with like breaking and entering and some kind of other
Yeah.
shit. Yeah, that was crazy, man.
Fuck, man.
Those are good times.
Well, look how far you've come, dude.
Yeah.
Shit,
I haven't
man.
climbed anything in a while.
Yeah. Well, you
I'm a
know,
lazy piece of shit.
yeah, that's okay. I mean, you don't need to climb buildings to not be a lazy piece of shit.
Yeah, that's true. That's a far way to go to call yourself not a lazy
Yeah.
piece of
You're
shit.
not climbing buildings, you lazy piece
What
of
are you even
shit.
doing with your life,
Yeah.
Oh fuck! I think my headphones might be dying. They're these like AirPod
Oh,
things.
man.
I can switch over to some like normal ass cans though.
You know what, man? I think we're
Actually, we probably
yeah.
should start wrapping up.
It's almost 11
actually.
o'clock here, so we've had you on for quite
Oh,
some time,
shit.
dude. Yeah,
Yeah, okay, we've been chatting. All right, I
Yeah,
had no
man.
idea.
yeah,
Yeah, it's like a time warp.
Dude, it is for
It
real.
really
Every
is,
time we do
yeah.
one of these, I'm like, fuck, it's already 11. Like shit.
It's fucking crazy.
Yeah, man. I'm
Yeah.
hoping that the monsoons
it's cool.
outside are fucking manageable
Hopefully it's
now.
subsided. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Dave's basement
it was
is finally
crazy.
drying down.
Did you go out there and see it?
Yeah, when I went to the bathroom.
it's good.
It's not flooded anymore.
That's great. That dude, flooded basements are the fucking worst.
Ugh.
Yeah.
It's such an awful fucking thing to have to deal with.
Yep.
Yeah, I definitely don't miss that anymore.
Oh, fuck that. Yeah. Did yours
No,
flood a
dear
lot?
God.
Yeah,
In
my
Forest
old
Park?
house.
Yeah. We rarely ever had basement floods in any house I lived in. Maybe once. Yeah, when the first house I grew up in Chicago, we had like one flood.
Hmm.
But other than that, like I had plenty of friends that had flooding basements.
Oh, yeah.
That's for sure. So, yeah.
Fun stuff.
Mhm.
Fuck yeah, man.
Well, hell yeah.
But yeah, of course, anything you like to plug?
So you know, obviously I play in Thieves. I got a bunch of videos up on like Vimeo of old like promos I did for stand-up shows back when stand-up comedy existed.
Mhm.
I've got that portfolio site that I've been working on, but the URL isn't ready yet. Eventually it'll be rudyschultz.com and I'll have like stuff for graphic design, photography, and voiceover on there. And
Sweet.
like, yeah, that'll be cool. That'll probably be in like the next month or two if anyone listens to this. And
Cool.
and it's, you know, after, what is it? It's May now. So June, July of 2020 and beyond, rudyschultz.com, I think. I think that's what the URL is going to be.
Sweet.
If you want to hear me like talking in a bunch of silly voices or see the photos or anything. Yeah.
Well, fuck yeah, man. Well, thanks for
Hell
coming
yeah,
on the show, dude. It was a grand old time.
Fuck yeah, man. It's always a blast hanging out and talking with you guys. It's like, it's cool to be able to like talk for so long and not like, you know, have like, oh, we got to go like load up the van or like, you know, we're in like a fucking loud bar because a band is playing that I'm
yeah.
actively ignoring.
Right.
Definitely,
Yeah.
man. Well, we got to do it again when we could get you in person.
Yeah,
So-
definitely.
Oh, fuck yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. It's so much better to talk in person. I mean,
Oh,
this
yeah.
is like good enough, but like,
Right.
yeah,
Mhm.
it's so
It's the
much
next
cooler
best
being in
thing.
the same room, dude.
Definitely. Definitely.
Fuck yeah, man.
All right, dude.
Cool. Very
We'll
Hell
take
yeah.
it easy.
You
We'll
take
catch
care.
you next
Thanks
time.
for having
man.
me on, dudes.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
See you later,
Take
man.
it easy.
See ya.
Adios.
See ya.
Fucking shut this thing off here. Feel like a fucking boomer. Yeah, look at me. I'm like, I don't know how to turn this thing off. What am I doing?
Yeah. How does that?
Those fucking film their nose. They're like, down here, like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, it was good talking to you.
Hell yeah, dude.
See you later, dude.
See you, man. That's funny. Well, guys,
what do you got?
Same old shit?
Yeah, I'm gonna be on my friend's show tomorrow. I don't know when it's gonna air.
Oh, cool. What show?
My friend Sean Daly, who's on our show,
yeah.
his after the session.
Yeah.
Me and Alex from Warforged are gonna be doing his show tomorrow via Zoom.
Fuck yeah.
So that's going down, and we're kind of doing he's doing a similar thing that we do with the music. Like he had us just pick out. He didn't really have as many guidelines, but he was just like, pick out a record you like, and we'll talk about it. I'm like, all right. So me and Alex each picked out
one more
records.
guideline.
Yeah, exactly.
It's genre specific.
Yeah. So there's
Like,
that
too many
and
guidelines. So sorry, cracking the whip over here.
no, it's just I'm trying to think of a better way to describe it, but it's just like it's kind of like that. I mean, that's
Nice.
what he said. So we're gonna be doing that, and that's about all I have to fucking plug, man.
Cool.
Like, yeah, I really have nothing else that I could think of. Yeah. Do you have anything?
Nah, same shit. Roman
Yeah.
Reigns, something is waiting.
Check it
Check it
out.
out.
Yeah, Warforged. Shit, man, we're still on lockdown.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Yep. All right.
Yeah.
So,
All right, guys.
Yeah, next week is
We'll have Alex on the
Alex
show.
on. Yeah, awesome.
So he'll be on here. I'm sure we'll
and
be doing.
we're not going to do it via Skype anymore. Fuck Skype. I'm over it.
Oh yeah. So
It's,
that was
nothing-
way
that
better,
was
dude.
Way fucking
Yeah.
better. Yeah.
I wonder how
so-
that would work if we did the video recording with that app,
I don't know. Like that. I feel like that app in general is just kind of shitty
the
too.
video recording app. Yeah, that's probably it.
I just haven't had time to find a better one, but yeah. So
fuck,
anyway,
I wish
next week.
iPads and iPhones have a built-in feature to just do a screen
Record.
recording. Yeah. So
Oh, we'll figure it out.
well, yeah,
eventually.
we'll figure it out.
Cool. All right. So we'll see everybody next week.
Yeah,
with,
thanks for
our
listening,
guest,
guys.
Alex.
Catch you later.
Bye.
Bye. All right. Hey, what's up, everybody? It's me, Jason. You just finished listening to our buddy Rudy Schultz from Thieves. It was a blast of a conversation. If you like this episode, which I know you do, you motherfucker, subscribe, like, comment. We're almost at 100 subscribers.
So
We're
close.
almost there. So
5. I think it's like 5 more.
we're like 5 away. So come on, guys. We can use that extra
4.
5. 4 away.
4 away.
We're 4 away. Okay, so please do it. Well, maybe after the death metal episode airs, I have 4 done, but I don't know. But anyway, still subscribe. We would appreciate it. Leave a comment. And yeah, thanks for listening, and we'll catch you all next week. Peace.
Perfect.